Welcome, everyone, to Georgetown, Texas for the final game of the 2021 season for your Southwestern University Pirates as they take on the Sul-Ross State Lobos. We are having pregame, a little bit of senior celebration. The team is gathering in the end zone, but I just wanted to run the highlights real quick from last week's, at least portion of the highlights last week from the Texas Lutheran game as we lead up to kickoff. So stay tuned here for Pirate football momentarily. Now hand to Willis straight ahead. He gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Bernard Century and Nick Hackett. No hand to Sotelo, and he gets tripped up by Nick Hackett and Alec Gomez. Cosby will fake the handoff to the H-back. He'll pitch to Willis, and he's going to get wrapped up almost immediately upon receiving that pitch. And that's number 11 for Southwestern, Peyton Ludeman, making the stop. Cosby takes the snap, going to hand off straight ahead to the H-back, and he'll get tripped up in the backfield by number 90 of the Pirates, Noah Clarkson. 3rd and 7. Cosby will hand to Sotero coming to the near side, and he's going to get wrapped up quickly by Jason Lund, number 94. Also there, Noah Clarkson, number 90. So it'll be 4th down for the Bulldogs once again. And second possession in a row, the Pirate defense forces a punting situation by the Pirate offense. Gilpin will take the snap on this play. He'll tuck it and be forced to run to the right. He's over 25-30, and he'll step out of bounds after picking up the first down. Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back over the middle, hits number 84 for the Pirates, and that, of course, Ethan Powell for a first down into Bulldog territory at the 48. Marion, the running back, there's the snap, fake to Marion, drops straight back, pressure. Gilpin has to twist back towards the near side. He'll flip to Marion. Marion's at the 45-40. He'll have the first down at the 35 before he's forced out of bounds. Rudely. Two receivers. Welcome back to Georgetown, Texas, as we are getting underway here shortly in the final game, as I mentioned earlier, of the 2021 season, where the Pirates take on the visiting Sul-Ross State Lobos. We would like to take a moment and mention all of the corporate sponsors that are, make the broadcasts available for you, the fan of Southwestern University Pirate football. They include Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners, Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. They'll hand to Willis straight ahead. He gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Bernard Century and Nick Hackett. They'll hand to Sotelo, and he gets tripped up by Nick Hackett. Welcome back again to Southwestern University here on the campus of Georgetown, Texas. We're still a few minutes, about 5.5 minutes away from kickoff, and we're just trying to make sure that we have the best video quality for you. We've had a few frames dropping here early in the broadcast, and so I want to make sure we get the highest quality video for you and make sure everything is working appropriately before we get started. We're getting ready for the anthem. Welcome back. As I mentioned, we're just minutes away from kickoff. The Pirates looking to extend their winning streak to 3 games today against the Sul Ross State Lobos, as well as avenge the loss that the Pirates had against Sul Ross State at Alpine during the spring COVID season. So stay with us here as we get ready to kick this football game off, close out the season on 2021, and start the offseason in preparation for the 2022-2023 season, where the Pirates will finish their participation in American Southwest Conference play. Captains for the Pirates are Brandon Jennings, Austin Costilleja, number 23 Jackson Reese, and, of course, number 77 Nick Hackett. For the Sul Ross State Lobos, we have as captains number 10 Clayton Maxwell, the quarterback for the Lobos offense. And beside him, whose jersey's kind of tucked in, but it looks like that's number 55 of the Lobos, and that'll be a Johnny Bates. He's an offensive lineman, if that number is correct. It is 55. And so that is a Johnny Bates, as I mentioned, one of the freshman offensive linemen for the Lobos. And toss is over. Look like the Pirates will be opening the game with the football. I'll be joined here today momentarily by Justin Simmons on color commentary. On production will be Rich Hensley, and working our main camera will be Mickey Holden. Have a referee huddle there at the middle of the field. Moments away from kicking the football off. The Sul Ross State Lobos are out onto the field lining up to do that kick. Oswaldo Luna, number 84, will be doing the kicking.
You know, it's another week of Southwestern having to face a good kicker, one that's been all conference prior. And we'll see if this team can utilize that situation better than how Texas Lutheran was able to utilize that situation last week. But this team on a hot streak, like you mentioned before, looking to end the season on a strong suit with a 3-game win streak. And, I mean, that would build tremendous confidence for the rest of the program getting ready for the next season. As
well as benefit the recruiting process, which is just starting to heat up after the COVID rules have eased a little bit. Southwestern a little bit stricter in their COVID rules than the other teams in the ASC. So Luna here to kick off. Back deep to receive for the Pirates. We have Austin Castilleja and number 4, Eli Norris. Castilleja fields it. He carries it up over the 20. He's got a tackler he drags to about the 24-yard line, and that's going to be number 41, Lorenzo Fowler.
Well, let's see how this Pirate offense will start the day. Last week it was slow. They were unable to garner any points in the first half, but in the second half, man, they exploded. We'll see if Landry Gilpin has that Landry magic early.
Well, he'll come out to lead the offense. Beside him will be Quan Marion. Split out here on the near side is Eric Avalle, and then 3 receivers at the wide side of the formation. Huerta.
Early on in this first quarter, well, I knew we were going to get some eventually. I didn't know we were going to get that much that quickly here in the first quarter of play.
And if you're watching the stream and there was a pause in the stream, we're trying to fix the video bit rate, and we had to stop the stream to do so, and it looks like we are good to go here. Doing a little bit better. Hopefully we won't drop too many frames, and you can see that Landry magic in action. That's one of the things that with Landry you can't have a slow camera. You know, the camera has to be set at the right frame rate in order for you to capture all of that movement.
Well, like I was telling everyone else just moments ago, and I think you would agree, he doesn't have that blazing speed, the one that just makes you pop.
It's very deceptive. It's pretty blazing.
But he pulls away from you. You just don't expect it.
Yes, and that defender had an angle on Gilpin, but he was not going to catch him down the sideline, and, of course, Pirates up 7-0 here early. Charlie Fournier coming out to kick off to the Lobos. He gets a nice deep kick. It's going to be fielded at the 8-yard line. Number 1 carries it over the 20, gets tripped up, but is able to keep his feet and carry up over the 30. That's James Parker out of Colleen Shoemaker. And the Lobos will have their first possession of the game. The Pirates have 1 possession, 1 touchdown. And that's the kind of percentage you like to keep with as you go into the game. And hopefully we can –
they've done it before.
Yeah, do a similar as we did a couple weeks back where it was 4 touchdowns and 4 possessions.
Yeah, against Austin College, the Roos, they had a rude awakening. Even a mob of kangaroos couldn't stop the Pirates that day.
Well, the Lobos come out in shotgun formation. They're going to hand to the running back and throw back to the quarterback, and then he's going to be sacked by Alec Gomez. That's Clayton Maxwell receiving that pass from his running back, Austin Remo, and just not much there. As soon as he caught the ball, Alec Gomez was there. And he just fell down because he knew he was going to get tackled.
Well, I have to admit, though, I like the play call. A little trickeration, trying to catch what has been a very stout Pirate defense off guard early on in this game.
Well, they lost 10 on it. 2nd down and 10. Clayton Maxwell, the quarterback. Lobos in a pistol formation. Running back number 23 will get the handoff, and that's Ozias Wright. Not much there as the Pirate defense able to collapse and stop that for a gain of about 3.
Yeah, that was Clarkson on the bring down The Pirates were just a three-man front. I mean, that line does a terrific job on penetration and blowing up the play, but a lot of the credit can also go to Bernard Century as he patrols sideline to sideline.
Well, Clayton Maxwell, pretty thick quarterback, 5'11", 230. Moves the running back to his left, takes the snap, drops straight back, looking to fling it downfield, and he does across the middle. He'll hit the receiver around the 40-yard line. That's number 80 for the Lobos on the reception, Cameron Gonzalez. It'll be a first down, Lobos.
It's the right play call defensively by the coordinator.
No, it's shy of the first down by about a yard. Let me get that in there. It's 4th and 1.
Even better, but it looks like Sol Ross might consider going for it.
Well, last game of the season, you know, you're playing for the win here.
Yeah, you're using house money today.
That's right. At tailback for the Lobos, Ozias Wright behind Maxwell.
This is definitely their power formation.
It is a power look, and they'll hand to Wright, and he'll slice his way for the first down over the 45 to the 46. Bernard Century there to make the stop for the Pirates, but not until after the Lobos get the first down.
Yeah, and it was apparent that the Lobos were going to line up and go for broke, and they utilized their big package in order to solidify the line of scrimmage and break right through. But Bernard Century, just moments ago, it was the right play call. Cover 2, look, as the linebackers dropped, he was just a half a step too late to the pass.
3 receivers on the wide side of the formation, 5 total for Maxwell as he takes the snap and flips it to one of those slot receivers to his right. He'll pick up about 2 yards. Jamarcus Ross there along with number 9 for the Pirate defense, and, of course, that Patrick Nicholas. It's going to be a gain of about 3 yards for the receiver.
Well, the more I see Century play here in this opening drive, it's like he's just a half step close to making a big play. He almost had a sack. He had good pressure there until he got blocked.
The Lobos have trips on this side of the pistol. A lot of pressure. Maxwell stayed in the pocket. His pass is incomplete. It looked like it was intended for number 80, Cameron Gonzalez, and there defensively for Southwestern University, Cam Terry. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7 now for the Lobos here, down 7 to the Pirates early with 10:26 on the clock. Pistol formation, 2 receivers either side of the formation. Maxwell has a pretty good-sized running back beside him. Takes the snap, drops back, flips it downfield. Intercepted by the Pirates. What a diving catch there. And that is number 9, Patrick Nicholas, with the interception for Southwestern University. And just like that, it's good as a punt, but you want to convert a first down there if you're the Lobos.
Oh, I was going to say it's actually better than a punt in the sense of the momentum that it gives your team. But more importantly, this defense, while they're not getting quarterback sacks, they are definitely making contact with the quarterback. And that is the second big shot that was delivered to Clayton Maxwell on that drive. And that time it was delivered by Bernard Century. Like I've been saying, he's so close to making one huge play on his own. That time he forced him to throw it up for that lame duck interception.
Gilpin will come out in an empty set after the turnover, take the snap, follow a couple of pulling guards forward for a gain of about 3, where he's dropped by Quincy Blair.
Yeah, the guards and their offensive line pulling throughout, especially this little 2-game win streak. They have been amazing for the most part.
When your front plays well, offensively or defensively, there's a lot of positivity that comes out of it for your team. You got 2 backs in this pistol formation for Gilpin, Jennings and Marion. Gilpin takes the snap, rolls to his left, avoids a little bit of pressure, gets the ball and flips it downfield, and it's almost intercepted. Really broken up by a Lobos player, as it looked like Quincy Blair had an opportunity to intercept that pass, but Aiden Montez came by trying to intercept it too, and it fell to the ground.
Yeah, Gilpin very lucky that didn't end up being an interception. Something that we saw from him last week was his desire to just go ahead and throw it away when in a situation like that. But this time trying to make a play, he waited a little bit later in the game to try to do that last week.
Jennings, the running back beside Gilpin. They'll bring Castilleja in motion. As he goes back the other way, they pitch him the football. Not anything there for Castilleja, but he does end up gaining about 3 yards as he spins his way forward before he's dropped by number 95, Jaden Flood, for the Lobos. It'll bring up 4th down and about 4, and the Pirates will bring out the punting unit.
Turning those scraps into a McRib, not great, but something better than nothing, that's for sure.
Definitely made it better than what it appeared was going to be the result of that play.
Probably should have been a loss, honestly.
Definitely. Devin Mendoza back to receive the punt from Will Herbst. Mendoza setting up right around the 32-yard line. Herbst gets the snap. It's a nice spiraling high punt. Mendoza with the fair catch. Ball's on the ground. Pirates say they have it. Let's see. There's a little bit of a scrum going on. We've had several Pirates come out. There's the ball with a Pirate, and that's Jamarcus Ross. The Pirates have a football with 8:39 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, they caught it right off of the volley, right when they hit the bounce, and you saw it. Almost went like in slow motion. The ball was so high up there that he was getting ready to field it. It slipped off of his hands, and then it just took the perfect bounce right into the coverage, and was a heads-up play as he was able to get his hands on the ball and fall to the ground.
It was kind of an odd kick because the velocity of the kick slowed as it peaked in height. Empty set here for Gilpin on the first down after the recovery. Let's see if they try to go deep here. Gilpin drops straight back, tucks it, runs forward. He's at the 35, cuts out at the 30, 25. He's on the outside, avoids a tackler out of bounds right around the 22. First down Pirates with 8:31.
He already had that long scoring touchdown run, so you would imagine that his running confidence is going to be through the roof today. And he's already coming off of 2 back-to-back 100 games, so passing and running.
And you know that the Lobo defense will be concerned as well about that Landry magic, as you call it, and maybe he can utilize that to fake a run and bring the secondary and linebackers towards the line of scrimmage and find someone open beyond them. Gilpin has Jennings as the running back. There's the snap, follows Jennings. There's a whole lot of pressure there and nothing to gain for Landry Gilpin as Hunter Bunch, along with Sam Brooks for the Lobos, were able to get off of their blocks and create havoc in the backfield.
Well, not only that, the Pirates were running against a 5-man line as they had the linebackers stacked up right on the edge as well. So there wasn't a whole lot of room to maneuver, especially with the pulling guards that really cut down on any cutback lanes that Gilpin was going to have.
Maybe that's a strategy the Lobos will employ. Gilpin will take the snap here on second down, throw it over the middle. Pass is tipped and intercepted and carried to about the 17-yard line. Ovalle with the tackle, and that is number 46 coming up with the tip drill, Rodney Garza.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. Perfect tip drill execution there as he was able to make the snag. I'm not sure where you would credit that on that interception. It looked like Gilpin's pass had found its mark as it did hit the wide receiver in the hands, but it was a little behind. So maybe, both of them could have made some adjustments on that play. What looked to have been, I thought for sure, was going to be a scoring touchdown.
Well, it'll be 1st and 10 Lobos here, and it did look like he had, if the pass were a little bit taller, could have been a touchdown for the Pirates. Instead, Lobos with the football. Maxwell, the quarterback, will bring a man motion. He'll pitch to him, who nothing that way, and he cuts back the other way, spins around, trying to avoid Nick Hackett, and he ends up losing about 4 yards. He was successful in the avoidance of Nick Hackett, but Lavoine out of San Diego, Texas, unable to avoid the other Pirates.
Yeah, Ludeman taking him down eventually, and it ended up being a bit of a loss on the play.
Yeah, loss of about 3 yards. Could have been much worse. He was able to get a little bit back up towards the line of scrimmage. Ozias Wright, the running back, behind Maxwell. It's going to be a pass intended for Villarreal, incomplete, pass just too tall.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned height right now because I was going to talk about Clayton Maxwell. He's listed at 5'11", but that might be
Generous?
just a bit. And you can see it's causing some issues as this Pirate defensive line is winning the battle right at the line of scrimmage.
Lots of pressure in his face. Maxwell has Ozias right to his right, and he'll take the snap, drop back, forced up in the pocket, still looking downfield, pass to an open receiver, complete at the 45. That is Luvuano, and he'll carry it up to midfield for a Lobo first down, where he is tackled there by number 9 of the Pirates, and, of course, Patrick Nicholas on another stop.
And it was all on the linebacker as he unfortunately blew the coverage. Totally ate on trying to help contain the quarterback, and that allowed the receiver to work into some space.
That's just exactly what I was talking about Landry Gilpin using. They'll hand off to Wright on this play. He'll carry it up over midfield to about the 46, where he's wrapped up by Bernard Century, and also on the stop, number 94, Jason Lund.
And we're starting to see how much momentum can come from an interception here on this drive for the Lobos, as they were able to generate that big play just moments ago, and it looks like everything's moving in a positive direction for them as they look to try to even it up on this drive.
Well, they got it into Pirate territory here. It's a 2nd and 5 on the 46. Maxwell sends right out of the backfield, drops, looks to throw, and complete again to number 6, Vicente Luavano, and he'll pick up a first down at the 36.
And the one thing that they do have is height on the outside. That freshman from San Diego, and Luavano, he definitely had a good step, and he has that big frame to help shield the ball when he makes the catch.
Yeah, 6'1", 175. Also, Isaiah Villarreal, 6'3", 205. So they do have some big receivers for Maxwell to throw to. He'll put Ozias right to his left, take the snap, drop back, looking downfield. Has a receiver almost intercepted. There was a little bit of a collision between Patrick Nicholas and the receiver, number 6, Vicente Luavano. How do I say that? Is it Luavano?
Luavano. That would be
Luavano? Is it Vano?
I don't see an Enya on it.
Well, they don't always make it into the media guide.
Yeah, that is true.
2nd and 10 for the Lobos here. 4:53. Clock stopped after the incompletion. 3 receivers on the near side of the formation for Maxwell. He'll take the snap, hand it to Wright, going to the narrow side of the field. He'll pick up about 4 or 5 yards before he's tripped up by Blaine Corkin. 3rd down, and about 5.
But, sometimes you just come across some names, and, I'm from South Texas, so, Hispanic names, obviously, I come across all the time.
Of them, sure.
But Luavano, or
That's
it could be
one.
Luavano, which is also possible, but I don't recall ever coming across a last name like that. So, interesting, because, Texas is just so vast.
I get that with my last name. People are like, that's your last name? So it's not a common one. Pistol formation for the Lobos. 2 receivers either side of the formation. Maxwell flips it out to Wright in the flat. He spins his way close. He's going to be about a yard shy of the line needed. Looks like they're marking him at the 27-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th and 1. Really, he only needs about 3/4 of a yard here for a first down. Snap looking downfield. He'll hit number 84, Ethan Powell. He'll have a first down right around midfield as he's forced out of bounds.
And you heard the crowd and his teammates give the big ovation after he gave him the slap with the stiff arm. Good stuff there by Powell.
Derrick Henry style. Nice gain of 4 yards. It didn't, or 5 yards rather. It looked like it wasn't going to be much there, and Marion was able to squirt through and spin his way forward for a decent gain.
And he's having to work hard though for these short carries. But eventually you feel that this Pirate offense is going to be able to wear down this Lobos defense and get another big play.
Both on the line and from that running back crew. Gilpin will take the snap and hand to Marion. He cuts up the middle, and he'll gain a nice first down to the 39 before he's dropped by number 18, Dalton Bills.
Wow, that was all Marion on that play as the offensive line did get beat. They were pushed back, Marion making the cut. And again, his terrific vision that we've seen all year long utilized it there on that play to get the first down.
Pirates taking a little bit of time here. Looks like they may allow the clock. They're going to have to run one more play unless they're going to burn a timeout here because there's about 5 seconds between the play and game clock. About 8 seconds left on the game clock, 3 on the play. Gilpin takes the snap, starts to his left, cuts back to his right, has pursuit. He's able to avoid one tackler, but he'll get wrangled down near the line of scrimmage by number 63, Maurice Taylor, and that is the end of the first quarter. I want to mention our corporate sponsors once again as we take a break here between quarters. They are Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners with Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. Thank you, corporate sponsors. So coming out into the second quarter, it's second down and about 10 and a half yards for the Pirates to get a first down. They'll come out in formation with 2 receivers here on the wide side, 1 on the narrow side of the field, 2 running backs beside Gilpin. Gilpin will take the snap, hand to Marion. Marion cuts up the seam. He avoids a tackler and then is able to carry it down near the 25 for another Pirate first down.
He says keep on feeding him, and I agree. That was an amazing run. Again, the offensive line doing just enough, but Marion utilizing that vision and then that extra burst of speed to get past the second level. Good stuff there.
They found somebody special in the freshman, Quan Marion. He's got Brandon Jennings on the other side. They'll hand to Marion. He'll follow Jennings, but unable to get much momentum going as he's run down from behind as he's patiently waiting for the hole to open up by Dalton Bills of the Lobos.
But I like this balance on display from the Pirates offense. Sometimes I feel, especially, and understandably, they would get a little one-dimensional as the season was early on, but today, this is something I meant to say during the first quarter. I expect to see the whole shebang, if you will. Everything should be put together. This should be a really good dress rehearsal for what you'll expect to see next season.
So Gilpin will take this snap and hand to Brandon Jennings. He'll cut up behind the right guard and pick up about 2 yards. It's going to bring up third and about 8 for the Pirate offense. And this is a pretty lengthy field goal here, even for Will Herbst. And so you'd like to see if they could pick up at least one more first down. And you know, obviously you want to drive in for a 6, but if you're forced to take a 3, you want to be a little closer. Marion is the running back beside Gilpin here. Gilpin takes the snap, rolls to his right, spins back in the center of the field, looking downfield, hits the receiver, Ethan Powell, wide open down around the 10-yard line. Check that. That is Joey Robinson, the tight end, that was able to find a little bit of a hole and sit down to receive that from Gilpin for a first down.
I just continue to be befuddled. Do people not watch the film? Do they not see the film on this kid? I mean, Gilpin pulls that same move every week.
Yeah, he spins back around.
And every time it works. He's like, well, I was going to make a soccer reference, but nobody's going to understand, so let's just skip that. Let's just skip it.
2 running backs. They'll send Marion in motion. Option look as Gilpin pitches to Marion, and he gets cut down hard right at the line of scrimmage. He may have even lost a yard. Big tackle there from number 1, James Parker.
Yeah, usually they say the secondary can't hit, but that was well-read, Deion Sanders-style tackle, but effective.
Well, and Parker must have seen some film because he knows you can't just arm tackle Jaquan Marion.
Well,
So he cut him down.
That is a definite truth, as we have seen the way that Marion has ran, not just in this game, but this entire season. And I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to him again. They have had some great success keeping the ball on the ground on this drive.
Well, it's 2nd and goal here from the 12 for the Pirates. 4 receivers, Marion in the backfield with Gilpin. Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back. Steps forward, flushes out to the right, throws it back across to Ethan Powell for the touchdown Pirates. And they're up 2 scores now, 13-0 with 12:11 remaining here in the first half. Point after touchdown pending, of course.
But what you mentioned in the first quarter of play, we finally got to see here in the second quarter where they had Gilpin get out of the pocket here and then was able to make that throw on the run where we've said throughout the year he arguably is more accurate and is better on the run making those throws.
Earps with the point after attempt. It's up, and it is good, and it is a 14-0 Pirate lead here in the second quarter with 12:11 remaining. We'll stay here with the broadcast.
Give credit to the Pirates offense as they were able to overcome that interception just a couple of drives ago. And then, of course, you have to credit the Pirates defense. They have been really the focal point of this team this season. They have been stellar at times, completely brilliant. And so far, they're pitching the shutout this afternoon. But we've seen them bring it to the table pretty much each and every week. No matter what the score was, the defense was usually pretty solid.
Definitely, and the Lobos have moved the ball a little, but not consistently. And the Pirates have given up a couple of first downs in a drive here and a drive there, but they're able to get stops, either turnovers or turnover on downs or force a punt.
Well, that's one thing that's really changed with the Pirates defense, though. They've been causing turnovers, something that we hadn't seen early on in the season.
Well, Fournier will kick a bit of a short high kick. It's going to be fair caught by the Lobos. That's number 5 catching it, and that's Austin Remo. And it'll be a decent starting point for the Lobos as they'll start at their own 25 with that fair catch.
And I think that would be the fair critique of this team, is that the Pirates defense had to do more than just, stop opposing offenses. They had to get turnovers in order to make up for some of the inefficiencies that were on offense this season. But as the offense has come along and as the defense continues to meld, this has been a promising team, especially with their special teams unit.
Well, the Lobos will come out in a pistol. Right, the running back will receive the handoff from Maxwell, and he's going to meet Noah Clarkson in the hole. Big number 90 able to make that stop after a minimal gain.
Well, one of those seniors that was honored in the pregame festives, and you can imagine that he's playing with a little extra fire in the engine today.
Playing that nose spot at the moment in the 3-man front for the Pirate defense. The Lobos will come out in a pistol formation, 2 receivers on the wide side of the field. Right, the running back beside Maxwell. Maxwell takes the snap, and he'll hit right in the flat, and he'll get tackled quickly by number 0, Cam Terry, as he prevented what could have been a decent enough game. Check that, that's Jamarcus Ross out there making the tackle, number 31.
Well, give credit to Wright. That was a fastball fired at him, and he had to make an adjustment in order to make the snag.
Yeah, it was a pretty good catch considering the distance.
But Maxwell, I think you can see he's already taking those big shots a couple of drives ago. I think it's still in the back of his mind that he needs to release this ball, and he has to do it in a hurry against what has been a punishing Pirates defense.
If he's watched recent film, he doesn't want to be on the receiving end of too many of those hits. He'll take the snap, drop back, he'll release it quickly, complete for the first down to number 6, Luvano.
Let's go with Luvano.
Luvano should be something I can pronounce. Luvano with the first down. Nobody able to really get a hand on him as he goes out of bounds and stop the clock with clock moving, I guess, because his momentum, his progress was stopped before he stepped out of bounds. 10:30 on the clock here left in the half. Wright to the left of Maxwell. Maxwell takes the snap, drops straight back, looking down the left sideline. He's able to hit again Luvano for another Lobos. Well, he's going to be just shy of the line needed for the first down by a yard. So it's 3rd and 1.
Well, now you can see why Maxwell was
second and 1, rather.
Why Maxwell was one of those all-conference second-team selections. Is because he has that patience and he can make some plays.
Surprisingly quick for a thick fellow, and he's definitely got a quick release. He'll hand off to Wright on this play, and he'll have enough for the first down, but just barely, as Bernard Century is there to make sure he gains no more.
See, I'm glad you mentioned that because you noticed it too. While he's not exactly the biggest of quarterbacks and he has some mobility, not a whole lot, nothing compared to Gilpin. I mean, this kid's release, though, is quick.
Yes, it's just scary fast.
Yeah, he
passes.
can just flick it, and he's pretty accurate as well. But he needs those passing lanes, and that's what the Pirates took away early on in this contest.
Well, he'll take a snap, drop straight back, pressured. He's able to shake off Gomez. There's a wide open receiver, and that's Wright. He ran a wheel route down the left sideline down there to make the stop for the Pirates and prevent a touchdown, really. It was Peyton Ludeman, number 11. It'll be a first down for the Lobos in the red zone of the Pirates at the 19.
But you saw the whole package right there from Maxwell, showing off a little Big Ben-esque.
Yeah.
He was able to shed the tackler, and then he delivered a strike quickly down the field, and it was accurate.
Plus, he's got a nice mullet growing out of that helmet. Maxwell drops back, hits the receiver on a slant for the score. That's number 80, Cameron Gonzalez. Ran a bit of a quick play as the Lobos quickened the pace after the big pass downfield to Wright, and they're able to take advantage and catch the Pirates on their heels and get a score here, 14-6.
Yeah, I was surprised with how well this Pirates team was able to do so far in this game, because I did expect it to be a little bit of a high-scoring affair just because of what the Lobos have done throughout the season. But it took them a little while, but they got it going here in the second quarter.
Well, we may still have that. Kicking the extra point, Jaden Brown for the Lobos, and it's good. And the score now 14-7 with 8:54 remaining here in the first half. So the defense, just as soon as we were bragging on them, the Lobos offense opens it up, gets a big play from Maxwell downfield to Osias Wright, who ran a wheel route out of the backfield. Pirates were able to bring him down, but then the Lobos quickened the pace and got a quick snap and hit the slant for the touchdown.
I definitely thought that the Pirates were going to have the stop after that throw to the flat came up short and brought up third down. But, I mean, night and day performance from Clayton Maxwell as the senior quarterback, who this is his last season as he came back from the spring season. I mean, just showed you his whole bag on what he can do and why he has been successful throughout his career. I mean, some of the plays that he was making, not as breathtaking as what Landry Gilpin does with those long runs.
Pretty effective, though.
But definitely effective to keep plays alive. But that last play where he was able to just put it on a dime downfield while being pursued on the run, I mean, it doesn't get much prettier than that.
Well, Osvaldo Luna will kick off for the Lobos, and his kick is going to take a bounce out of bounds, and the penalty will drop on the ground. Eli Norris wisely stays away from that football. I'd almost like to see the Pirates force the Lobos to kick this again. It happened in the Mary Hardin-Baylor game. They kicked it out of bounds a couple of times, and the Pirates were able to get a kick return for a touchdown out of it. You run down covering a kick a couple of times, that's like running wind sprints.
I was thinking the same thing that you were thinking, but
looks like the Pirates will take the 5 yards to the 35-yard line.
This is a good field position to start with, and I think they're just trying to test the offense. Can they come back, click, and score again as he just scored on the last offensive series, in case you just tuned in?
Handoff will go to Taisagua. He'll cut up off left guard. He's in open territory, midfield 40-yard line, and he's forced out of bounds. What a great run from Gianni Taisagua as he comes in and is able to pick up about 45 yards on one carry.
Yeah, terrific run, good lane open, and he has been one of those players that's really shined throughout this season.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He's not a real big guy, 5'6", 152, but man, he's quick, and he's able to squirt out of that hole for a big gain. Gilpin will take the snap and hand to Marion this time straight ahead, and Marion will pick up 4 or 5 yards. He's going to be tackled by Hunter Bunch and number 93, Cameron Ball, but a nice 6-yard gain, or 5-yard gain, rather, for Marion.
But I like what I'm seeing from this offensive line now. Now they're starting to block through the whistle, and that's what you love to see, especially as an offensive coordinator.
Well, Gilpin will take the snap. Option look. He'll pitch to Marion. Marion at the 25. Good job of stringing that out by the Lobos defense there to make the stop. Quincy Blair, number 2, no gain.
Yeah, there was nowhere to go. It was well read as the Lobos were able to cover the ground. But on what is 3rd and medium, this is not a bad spot to be in, especially for Landry Gilpin and the Pirates. He hasn't had to do too much on this drive, so this might be the time to let Landry loose in the backfield and let him run around and try to make something happen.
Well, those young guys on the front of the line are starting to gel a little bit for the Pirates. 3rd down, Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back. A little bit of pressure. He throws it over the middle. Touchdown, Pirates. Eric Ovalle with a deep in, just a post route, basically.
Yeah, he saw the one-on-one coverage, ran a good route. The timing was perfect, and I thought that Gilpin was going to have to run around back there in the pocket a little bit more, but instead he showed you that he can be a consistent pocket passer as he put it right on the money for that touchdown. Way to answer back from this Pirates offense.
Will Herbst will come in to attempt the point after. Score 20-7 now with 7:48 left in the half. Hold down from Kerr, kick up and good, and the Pirates take a 21-7 lead here with 7:48, as I mentioned, remaining in the half.
And we talked about the progression that we would see for both squads, since this is the very last game of the season for both teams, and we saw it there with Gilpin. One of the things that we talked about him was his pocket passing earlier in the season. Was he going to be able to make those adjustments as the year went on? It had been difficult. He hasn't necessarily connected on all his passes, but as we have come to the end of the season, especially as the Pirates are looking to finish with a 3-game winning streak, one of the biggest reasons for that has been the play of Gilpin. Cut down on turnovers. He has been making really accurate passes, but we saw another evolution in his game there as he looked very comfortable in the pocket, and it was a quick step read, but comfort, delivered the ball right on the dime, and you would like to see him evolve from that.
And there was a lot of pressure in his face on that play. He could have easily wanted to
run,
to drop the ball and try to swing that outside and make a play with his feet, but he was able to stay in there, stand tall, and make a good delivery to Ovalle for the touchdown.
Because once he becomes a complete quarterback that can hit that deep ball with consistency, with defenses in his faces,
almost unstoppable.
Yeah, because you already see the speed. It would be very hard to match up against him.
Fournier with a high kick. It's going to be fielded by the Lobos at the 12, and that's number 7 on the return, Devin Mendoza, and he'll be tackled by the Pirates, number 30, Micah Justice, right around the 25-yard line. So whether it was a fair catch or he returned it, same result, ball at the 25.
Yeah, same result, but it was a good return as it looked like he was going to be stopped well short of the 25. But we've already just witnessed a couple of moments ago that the Sol Ross Lobos side was able to come and march right down the field.
It was a good answer by the Pirates. We'll see if there's an answer left in the Lobos here in the first half.
Well, I say march. They did it by way of air.
Yeah.
A little razzle-dazzle as well.
They'll come out in a pistol. Maxwell with Osias Wright just to his left. 2 receivers either side of the formation. Handoff to Osias Wright. He goes straight ahead for a gain of a couple. Alec Gomez, Blaine Corkin there, along with Nick Hackett. And it looks like, yeah, that's number 92 for the Pirates, Malik McDonald. 2nd and 7 for the Lobos. Empty set for Maxwell, 5 receivers. got 3 on the wide side, 2 here on the near side of the formation.
Yeah, but watch out on this inside as they have the matchup. It's wide receiver versus linebacker.
That's Blaine Corkin's got a slot receiver in coverage. And Maxwell's just ball's on the ground. It was a quarterback draw, and as he was getting tackled, and it is Pirate football. Malik McDonald coming out of the pile with it. Not much of a pile, but he fell on the loose football. Maxwell, it would look like a design draw.
That's what it looked like at first, but then he took a shot from behind as he was falling to the ground and lost the football. But we still have a Pirate player down.
And that's near where there was a collision of a lot of players.
Yeah, it was right at the point of where the football popped loose. And I'm just speculating here, but I wonder if that is Corkin because he's the one that laid out the hit.
It is Blaine Corkin. And they're just checking on him here, being cautious. It was a good hit.
Yeah, his teammates don't look overtly concerned.
Yeah, and he'll get up under his own power. They just want to make sure he's okay, and he is. And the Pirates will have the football at the 36-yard line of the Lobos, and the opportunity to kind of push this lead out with 6:56 remaining in the half.
Hey, but what a play by Blaine. We just talked about how he had a difficult matchup there, wide receiver on linebacker, and then he read the draw, came back, smacked the ball loose, and that's been 2 turnovers that have been garnered by this Pirate defense just here in the first half alone.
And those will add up to offensive efficiency and points if the offense does their part of it. And just as the ball, oh no, the ball's on the ground, they're going to say he was down. Just as Gilpin was handing the ball to Quan Marion, the defensive tackle, number 92 for the Lobos, Sam Brooks, just sliced between a couple of blockers and almost took that handoff.
And you can hear the boos from the opposite side.
It's hard to believe there wasn't some kind of offsides going on there.
They met right at the point of where that handoff was taking place, and I'm surprised that somebody didn't take away the football, or if it wasn't swiped a little bit earlier than that. But give thanks if you're the Pirates.
Definitely. Jennings, the running back. Gilpin takes the snap, has pressure, spins out of that pressure, sets up, and pass is caught by Dugan Sexton, but they're going to say he could not keep his foot in bounds, and therefore the pass incomplete.
Man,
He's got sticky hands, though. He's able to bring in a lot of passes.
He almost brought in that one.
He did technically, but it's not legal.
Yeah, he was trying to walk the tightrope and almost was able to do so, but I just got to but I just got to mention Landry again because he has that internal mechanism where he throws out that spin and he just makes defenders look so foolish. And I realize that not everybody gets to cover a quarterback this talented at any level.
No. It's probably surprising for defenders. Gilpin will take the snap, drop straight back, moves to his right, flips it, pass is caught near the first down marker. It's Dugan Sexton again with the reception this time. He's going to be 3 yards shy of the line needed. They've got him marked at the Lobo 29.
Yeah, so he actually lost yards after the catch.
We had to come back for it, so that momentum did carry him out of bounds. And the clock is moving at 5:50. Pirates are going to go for it here on 4th down. Quan Marion with Brandon Jennings in the backfield at running backs beside Landry Gilpin. 2 receivers near side of the formation. They'll send Marion in motion. Option look. They'll pitch out to Marion. He'll cut up and have the first down inside the 25 down to the 22.
Oh, Brandon Jennings, though.
He's a great lead blocker, isn't he?
He took out 2 guys with that lead block, and he was the reason why that hole opened up. If it isn't for Jennings, Marion is probably going to be hit well beyond or well before the line of scrimmage. But, man.
On senior day.
Yeah, go back and watch the tape again, y'all, because that was just terrific individual effort that will go unnoticed unless you're paying attention.
Gilpin takes the snap, hands to Marion. He'll follow Jennings again, spins his way out at the 15, and he's going to get tackled around the 8 by number 4 of the Lobos, Hunter Bunch. Really a touchdown-saving tackle there from Bunch as Marion spun out of the pile and had nothing but green in front of him.
Hit that spin circle button right in the middle of the fray and was able to rip loose. Now the Pirates have everything available to them to keep this defense guessing. Option is probably going to be a strong call here. 1st
and goal from the 8. Pirates take the snap. They'll hand to Marion. Starts right, cuts back left, drives ahead to about the 5, and we have a scrum there and a whistle. Marion never goes down, but his progress stopped, according to the referees, just inside the 5-yard line.
See, this is where we have to teach our American football players the art of the rugby maul.
Right.
You know, people know things about rugby, but not the maul, and that means to have your team come back and push you forward. And there's nothing saying that you can't do that until the momentum is stopped. And I think that will be one of the...
It's happened. You've seen it in some football games.
Seen it in the pros. But I think that's the next evolution of the game, is teaching that one extra step for these offensive linemen to make them more important in the success of their team.
Gilpin pitches to Huerta on the jet sweep. He'll cut up near the hashes inside the 5 to about the 3, where he stopped by number 54 of the Lobos, and that is Sol Moore. So it's 3rd and goal, ball at the 3.
The Pirates can take all the time that they want right now. Both teams have 3 timeouts, but you might as well force the hand of Sol Ross.
Well, and you want to have as little time for the Lobos to have with the football after extending the lead here after on this play or the next. Gilpin takes the snap. Looking, hits Jennings for the touchdown there in the flat. Jennings, you know, in his typical role as a lead blocker, looked like he was going to lead block, and then he just broke out into the flat. Gilpin hit him in stride.
Yeah, they felt that he was going to be no threat, but deserving here on senior day, a guy that really made this whole drive tick. And you can see how much it means to him, and I'm super excited for him up here. Because that's one of those good kids that's worked really hard, not just this year, but every year he's been a part of the program. And no matter what's been asked of him, you know, he was willing to do it for the team. And he's one of those players that the Pirates are definitely going to miss.
Will Earpst on the point after to extend the lead 28-7. And you mentioned Jennings. Jennings is the offensive team captain. He gets a lot of respect from what is otherwise a very young running back group. They call him the old man, you know, things like that. And if you're standing next to Quan Marion, in between Quan Marion and Brandon Jennings, you can tell that Quan Marion's a freshman and Brandon Jennings is a senior.
Yeah.
Both great running backs. They bring a little bit of a different set of skills, and Jennings, you know, has that unmeasurable leadership quality. And I'm not saying that Marion doesn't. He's just too young to know at this point. Jennings brings that quality, and he brings that work ethic. And the reason he successfully blocks 2 guys on a Gilpin run is because of that work ethic.
It's good to see him rewarded for having to do all the dirty work, you know, throughout the season, sacrifices, having to put yourself out there as an extra body to make sure it was your teammate that gets the glory, to get some here on your final home game here for the final time this season. Hopefully there's going to be another touchdown come his way.
Yeah.
You know, there's still plenty of time, but
tons of time.
But it is great to see this Pirate offense clicking on all cylinders right now.
It's 28-7 with 3:10 remaining in the half. Charlie Fournier will be kicking off for Southwestern. He gets a nice high kick. It's going to be fielded at the 12, carried up to the 15, and then runner falls down. That is number 7, Mendoza. Devin Mendoza out of Lyford, Texas. Turf Monster got you.
Yep, exactly what I was going to say. The Turf Monster reared its, well, I'm not sure if the Turf Monster has a head.
Any monster has some kind of head. It may not look like a head we're accustomed to seeing.
That's true. They got to have a thought process somewhere, right? But unfortunate, but the Pirates will definitely take it, as this defense has been hard to crack. Sol Ross obviously have the 1 touchdown, but a lot of that had to do with the playmaking of their quarterback, Clayton Maxwell.
Yeah, just a couple of plays by Maxwell, and they're able to get that score. Maxwell has the ball, and he flips it on a tunnel screen to number 80, but the Pirate defense collapses quickly. That's Cameron Gonzalez on the reception. Credit the tackle to lots of guys. We'll just go on ahead and, because it's just easier and he's always in the mix, we'll give it to Peyton Ludeman.
He seems to always be around the football.
2nd down and 7 now for the Lobos. They have trips here on the wide near side of the formation. There's the snap. Maxwell drops back looking the opposite side of the formation. Same play as they hit number 23 on the wheel route, Ozias Wright, for another big gain and a 1st down into Pirate territory at the 48 with 2:26 remaining.
And there's the playmaking ability of Clayton Maxwell as he threw that ball on a dime, just laid it in right, and allowed his wide receiver to get underneath it. That's confidence.
And there was pressure coming his way, but that was an excellent pass, and that's what set up the touchdown on their prior scoring drive.
Yeah, plays like that from the QB.
Maxwell drops straight back, has a receiver, and just a little low and behind on the pass to Luvano was Maxwell. There were 3 defenders there, but he fitted in there where Luvano had a chance.
Yeah, he was able to just, torch that ball right through.
Yeah.
He does. I was going to say he does remind me of a baseball player.
He's going to leave a mark if you get hit with that thing for sure.
He has that third baseman build, wide, stocky, but with a cannon for an arm.
Cannon arm.
Inaccurate. That's been the big thing.
Ozias Wright. Maxwell takes the snap. They'll throw to Ozias Wright again, and Blaine Corkin there quickly to force him out of bounds after a gain of 4 to the Pirate 44.
Man, would you look at that? Blaine's been bringing the pain here today. Sideline to sideline, big plays. He forced that fumble just moments ago where the Pirates were able to get another score. He's been having a good day so far here in the first half.
That was good speed by the linebacker as well, because Ozias Wright had a little bit of space in front of him there on that Lobo sideline. He could have picked up a decent chunk of yardage if Corkin didn't get over there quickly and make the play. Pistol formation here with 3 receivers on the near side. Maxwell takes the snap, drops straight back, rolls to his right, looks back, flips it back to his left, and we're going to have a completion really close to the line needed for the 1st down. That was completed to Austin Remo. There on the stop for the Pirates was Jackson Reese, and they are going to give him enough for a Lobos 1st down at the 38-yard line of the Pirates. Minute 34 and counting here in the half.
Bit of a generous spot for the Lobos there, as I felt that the forward momentum hadn't been stopped just yet, and that he might have lost, that half a yard that would have brought up an extra down, but the officials obviously not seeing it that way on this play. But if you're the Pirates defense, you're going to be a little concerned, as you know that Sol Ross is more than capable of scoring right here, and then they'll just cut the lead into half.
And they get the football to open the second half.
Exactly. So, if you go home to a field goal, great. Obviously, no points would be the most desirable, but you want to keep them away from scoring another touchdown. But you have to look out for what we've seen already. And you mentioned it because we just saw it moments ago, that deep wheel route that has had success on the last 2 offensive drives for them. That's been their big play. Even with the pressure and the duress that Clayton Maxwell has been under, he's been able to deliver solid, accurate throws that have accounted for big yardage.
Most definitely, and they're putting together some plays here down the stretch of the first half, trying to cut into the Pirate lead and see if they can, cut it in half and then get the ball back and try to cut it down to 1 score to open the second half. Pirates looking to get a stop here, 127. Maxwell takes the snap, drops straight back. Pass is completed on the sidelines for a 1st down to number 80, Cameron Gonzalez. And the ball will be now at the Pirate 23-yard line, 122 on the clock. The clock stops to get the chains moved.
Well, a variation of the cover 2 defense, and that forced the zones into the flats.
They're going to say he got out of bounds to stop the clock.
Oh, and that means the Lobos still have 2 timeouts remaining. Good situation for them.
They'll come out in a pistol, 2 receivers either side of the formation. Maxwell takes the snap, looking to his left. pass is dropped. It hit the receiver in the hand, but it went through his hands. And a good opportunity as it bounced off Lovano's hands for the Pirates to try to get a tip drill, but it fell to the ground instead.
Oh, so Ross, very fortunate that that wasn't a turnover. But I also felt that maybe Lovano had heard the footsteps coming. And that's a possibility. That's one of those risks that you take as a wide receiver, even though the game is safer. And a lot of the hard collisions have been taken out of football. Going over the middle blind, still scary.
And even if there's a penalty, you still got to take that hit before the penalty's assessed. It's not like they were going to hit you. Maxwell takes the snap, and pressure by the Pirates. He's able to flip it away as he's in the grasp. It's going to depend on the whistle. That's Blaine Corkin there with his hands around Maxwell, and that's not an easy task.
My question is that intentional grounding, or they say it's not because he was able to get out of bounds? Because it seemed like he was still in the pocket.
He got it beyond the line of scrimmage.
But he was still in the pocket.
It looked like it to me.
Like, you have to be out of the pocket in order to do that. And I thought maybe because there was no pocket.
Maybe there was a receiver in the area. Two receivers either side of the pistol formation from the Lobos here on 3rd and 10. Clayton Maxwell looking over the defense. The big quarterback barking out his cadence, takes the snap, drops straight back, looking to his left, flips it down the left sideline, taken out on the play. Is that receiver? Jackson Reese said, no, I'm not even going to let you have an opportunity to make an attempt on that pass. And Vicente Lovano takes a shot, and it will be a penalty against the Pirates.
Well, we just talked about that. Yeah, you can get the penalty, but you still got to take the shot. And, well, you got not going over the middle. Apparently, you just never know when you're going to get hit when you're a wide receiver.
Well, you know, if Reese felt like he was beat on the play and then it could be a score, it's not a bad decision to go on ahead and take the penalty there and take the receiver out.
And honestly, that's what I was thinking too, is that he thought he was beat. And I don't blame him. You think you're beat, take him out and see if your defense can make a play.
Well, you prevent points from going on the board. Now, granted, the receiver could have dropped it, but that's unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, you're just playing the percentages there, and at least you're keeping them from scoring.
Well, they'll come out in the pistol here on 1st and goal from the 9. Clayton Maxwell brings the receiver in motion, takes the snap, drops straight back, looking to his right. Pass to the corner intended for number 5, Austin Remo, just a little bit too tall. Jamarcus Ross there on the coverage.
Pirates fortunate, though, is if it was delivered a little bit better, that's a for sure touchdown. The one thing that the Pirates do have working in their favor, though, with this short yard distance is that the Lobos haven't shown that they can run the football with sustained success today. The Pirates have been doing well to take out the running game for the Lobos and forcing them to throw everything. And you know how much more difficult it is to score when there's less room to work with near the end zone.
They're going to hand off on this one. They hand off to the H-back straight ahead, number 44.
But a flag is drawn down right
Michael
at
Kearns.
the line of scrimmage.
Let's see what that call is. Minimal gain from Kearns.
That's what I thought too.
So Alec Gomez getting a little bit of a head start. That'll be half the distance to the goal. It'll move the line of scrimmage to the 4.
And that was a definite gift by the Pirates.
Tight formation, kind of a jumbo look. 2 receivers spread out. Maxwell takes the snap, and they'll hand again, or he'll follow the H-back. I couldn't tell if he handed it to the H-back or followed Michael Kearns, but the Pirates able to stop him from getting to the goal line regardless of who had it. 3rd down.
And you can hear in this Pirates crowd as they try to get behind this team here on this goal line stand.
Maxwell will hand to Curliffs. Again, he's stopped shy of the goal line by the Pirates as it's the same, just kind of load everybody up in the middle of the formation. And the Pirates did the same defensively, and for 3 straight plays, the Pirates have been able to stop them. And so the Lobos will call a timeout here with 31 seconds remaining, and it being 4th and goal on the 1. Do you kick the field goal, or you try to go for it here if you're the Lobos?
That's a tough decision. you're on the road, and I say you should take the points when you can get them. But, I mean, how demoralizing is that if you can't score a touchdown right now? But honestly, if I was the head coach for the Sul Ross, you take the points. You know that you're going to get the ball in the second half to start and hope that you'll have more success. But
it's one of those dilemmas because, last game of the year, what do you got to lose? Let's go out there and get it.
But you have the entire second half to work with as well, and you get the ball back. I would like to score now too, but if you can't get this, it sets the tone for the start of the second half. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're definitely going to try as they come out in formation, the same jumbo formation. Maxwell with Curliffs, and that is Curliffs again. The Pirates are able to stop him once again. A 4-play stand by the Pirates inside the 5. It should be Pirate football. There's the signal. Great play by the defense. 4 plays in a row, and there's celebration here on the Pirate sideline with 23 seconds remaining in the half.
The important thing now is for the Pirates to make sure that there is no safety.
Right.
As they're right on the goal line. But that is demoralizing if you are Sul Ross and their offense, as even with their jumbo package, unable to get, and we talk about it all the time, game of inches, right? The inches necessary for the touchdown. But and you can see the frustration on the Sul Ross sideline, and rightfully so, but give tons of credit to this Pirate defense, making a stand with their backs right pinned against the wall.
And the defensive trajectory for success has just continued to rise over the last several games, and you see it continue here today as well. Gilpin with Brandon Jennings, the senior, in the backfield beside him. They'll hand to Jennings, and Jennings will get dropped for a safety. Number 29 by the Lobos, able to get in there and avoid a blocker and drop the senior. That's Aiden Montez making the safety for the Lobos, 28-9.
Curse of the commentator, I'm afraid, as I just talked about that. In a roundabout way, it's like Sul Ross traded 3 points for 2 to get the ball back, to have another chance to score before the end of the half. They don't have a whole lot of time left, but with 1 timeout in 18 seconds, you imagine that they're going to have a short field to work with because the punt, I'm assuming that it's not going to be a kickoff. It's going to be a punt. Because it could be either.
It could be either, yeah.
But I'm assuming that he's going to punt this instead of kick it off.
Fournier can get a pretty good kickoff, so we'll see.
It might not be Fournier.
Right. It's a tough decision here on what you want to do. And, this is one of the curses of running a pistol spread offense. When you need to be under center, it's not as easy to be under center. And while the Pirates have been under center on short yardage situations this year, they have a particular unit that comes out. Travis Moore will get under center, and they'll try to run a sneak.
Yeah.
Things like that. Maybe the sneak would have been the appropriate first play there instead of the handoff from the pistol.
And see, you say sneak, and I'm thinking, well, wildcat formation, because they've shown that many times, and you have it in the hands of your best runner.
It does give you about a half a second more time to move forward with the football than, the quarterback taking it and then turning and handing it. Fournier with the kick. It's going to be caught at the 21-yard line, carried to the 35, 40, 45 midfield before he's ridden out of bounds. That's James Parker on that return for the Lobos. And with 11 seconds, they'll have the ball on the Pirate 46-yard line.
And now the Pirates, after that big goal line stand just moments ago, because it was only a one-play turnover after the safety offensively, I mean, this team, they answered the bell, but you have to imagine that they're a little tired. They were trying to regain some energy, and they were probably mentally set to go into the locker room for halftime. So now they have to kind of reconfigure all that, get hyped up again for the last 11 seconds, and not be complacent despite having the lead still.
Maxwell with Wright behind him. Wright will shift to Maxwell's left. He'll take the snap, drop back. Pass is complete over the middle. Down near the 21-yard line with the football is Austin Remo before he's cut down. And with 4 seconds, they'll burn a timeout, the Lobos, and have a chance at a field goal here.
Yeah, Final timeout for Sol Ross. So if they do decide to go for a field goal, there's no mulligan. They have to get it right the first time. They do have a kicker that's capable of hitting from this distance easily. Now, the question is, do you go for the field goal? You get the ball in the second half. You're right on the edge of the red zone.
I think you do, because you'll cut the lead down to 15 or 16 points, and it's essentially 2 possessions with 2 2-point conversions.
Nah, see, now I'm with Coach here, at least by the looks of it. Send your quarterback back out there. You know he can make a play. You've been being able to beat the Pirates through the air.
It could be the difference in the game if it's a play here.
And you do have enough distance between them and the end zone to make something happen.
So empty set. Maxwell looking as he rolls to his left, flips down to the corner of the end zone, almost intercepted by the Pirates. The pass nowhere near the intended receiver, and that is the half. Before we go on break here for the half, I want to mention our sponsors once again. They include Antioch Georgetown, Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Grooveline Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners with Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. Do you have any closing thoughts for the half?
Solid first half for the Pirates, defense especially. I mean, they have been world beaters in the last couple of games, and you can see how that unit's continued to progress. But I cannot say enough good things about Landry Gilpin's first half of play. I mean, yes, there was a couple of times he tried to make something happen, and it didn't turn into what would have been a turnover. But other than that, I mean, just the plays that he's made with his feet and his arms, the offense clicking on all cylinders, the offensive line winning some good battles up front. Everybody's doing their part. The one thing is, and we've seen it with this team this year, don't get complacent here in the half. You have to finish the game. You have to play all 4 quarters. And hopefully ending the season on a 3-game winning streak will really build momentum for Coach Austin, recruiting in the offseason to get some of those players that are going to be necessary when the Pirates traverse to a new conference to be successful next season.
Well, they'll still have one more year in the ASC, and then they'll move to that new conference. And so, they got a tough slate next year, but you want to take that momentum from a 3-game winning streak into that next football season, into the offseason first, obviously. So we'll be back for the second half. We'll stay with the crowd mic so you can see any of the entertainment that may be going on. Stay with us here on SHN Sports. We'll be back.
Pirate Athletics would like to thank the following sponsors for their continued support. Groove Line Productions, DJ Pitch Black, John F. Lewis, CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, HEB, Don Hewlett Chevrolet Buick and Volkswagen, Eagles Wings, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Title, Wolf Ranch Town Center, State Farm Agent Stephanie Featherstone, the Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, and Upstream Investment Partners. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to start the second half of play, we would like to express our appreciation to the following sponsors of Pirate Football: First Texas Bank, CJ's Catering, Double Dave's Pizza, Minuteman Press and Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions, Groove Line Productions, DJ Pitch Black, Schlotsky's, Upstream Investment Partners, and Rudy's Barbecue and Country Store.
It's of utmost importance, and everyone should enjoy the contest in a fun and healthy environment. Thank you for your cooperation. More championship music is coming up here on Game Time.
Hey, high school sports fans, want to get in the game? Make the big calls? Give back to your community? Then sign up today to become a high school official. More officials are urgently needed in every sport in our state, from football to swimming to wrestling and volleyball. Without officials, there are no sports. So make the right call and visit highschoolofficials.com to learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com. This message brought to you by the NFHS.
When the Southwestern
Welcome back to Georgetown, Texas, as we get ready to start the second half of the tilt between the Southwestern University Pirates and the Sol Ross Lobos. Pirates lead by a score of 28-9. They'll be kicking off to open the second half to the Lobos. Charlie Fournier will kick off for Southwestern University, back deep to receive James Parker. And he's got a mate back there, but I can't see his number at the moment based on my angle. Fournier will kick it towards Parker, and it's going to be fielded by number 5 at the 25. And he didn't know really what he was going to do with it, Austin Remo. It looked like he thought maybe he called a fair catch, but then realized there was no whistle. Pirates bearing down on him kind of took off.
Yeah, I didn't think that he was trying to call a fair catch either, but it seemed that he had committed to the idea himself. And it almost caused some confusion, but luckily the Pirates able to make the stop. This Pirate defense has been tenacious today. That extra score came by way of a safety towards the end of the half. So the Pirates only giving up 1 touchdown, thanks to some theatrics on the playmaking ability of Clayton Maxwell.
So Maxwell will have the ball. He'll drop back on this first play, looking downfield. Some pressure. He's able to hit the receiver, number 80, coming across the middle, Cameron Gonzalez. There's a flag in the backfield. And Edmundo Suarez, having a conversation with the white hat, does not seem pleased with the result of that conversation. Call may be going against the Pirates.
Yeah, and this thing is going to be going forward.
Well, that gives the Lobos a first down in Pirate territory at the 47-yard line. We're only 15 seconds into the third quarter, and the Lobos are already in Pirate territory.
I have to admit, I am surprised, though. We've seen some big hits laid on Maxwell right at the point of release, and those weren't called roughing the passer. So for that call to be made, I can understand the questioning.
Maxwell will complete this one on the sideline to Isaiah Villarreal for a gain of about 5 to the 43-yard line, about 42.5 where it's currently marked.
But this Pirate defense has been able to make the Lobos offense extremely one-dimensional, as they have lived and died by their passing game. The running game has been nearly non-existent.
So Osias Wright just to the right of Maxwell. He'll take the handoff, but he's going to be met rudely in the backfield. Leading the charge there for the Pirates, Jason Lund, to number 94, the youngster out of Azle, Texas. Also there, number 90, Noah Clarkson.
I was wondering how you pronounced the city he's from, Azle.
That's my nephew played at Granbury, and Azle and Granbury in the same district. They live on the same lake, Lake Granbury.
Ah, okay.
Opposite sides of the lake. Third down. Maxwell takes the snap, hits it over the middle, pass complete. He's got the 35-yard line, making 36, where he's brought down. Ball on the ground, but the referee had already blown the whistle. That's number 23, Osias Wright, with the completion out of the backfield for another Lobo first down.
Well, if you notice, the Pirates aren't giving up any plays down the field. Nothing's been deep. Everything's been over the middle, long plays that take time to build. So that just tells you that the defensive line, who were quick to get to the quarterback in the first half, have been slow to get to Maxwell here in the second half.
Yeah, the Pirates doing their best to keep everything in front of them, especially in the secondary. Maxwell takes the snaps, got pressure. He's able to avoid the pressure from Lund. There is a flag in the backfield. The pass intended for Wright, broken up by Jamarcus Ross. We have an injured player down as well as a penalty flag in the backfield, and that's likely going to go against the Lobos, probably a hold.
Yeah, Gomez is still, it looks like it's Gomez to me from here, but he's still down with his helmet off. Yeah, and there was a definite hold. That's the only reason why Maxwell was able to get that pass off.
And so that'll back up the Lobos to the 45-yard line. We'll have a repeat of first down. Lobos need to get to the Pirate 25 for a first down, so obviously 1st and 20.
And there is Alexander Gomez who is up. It looks like he suffered a bit of a stinger. As you
Boy,
can see
that
him
hurts
moving
in
up.
your shoulder, yeah.
Oh, well, you talked about the back area just moments ago during
Right.
halftime. But, like, not just the shoulder, but the neck. You hit that burning sensation.
Oh, yeah. Those nerves, they'll cause you problems when they get pinched in contact. There's nothing like one of those stingers to make you want to go on the sidelines for a couple of plays, if not more. Right behind Maxwell in the Lobo backfield. Maxwell moves him to his right. There's a snap. They'll hand to Isaias Wright. He'll break 2 tackles. He's up over the 40 before he's spun down by number 9 of the Pirates, Patrick Nicholas. He got a nice gain there, making it now 2nd and about 14 as he picks up about 6 yards.
Yeah, there was about 3 tackles broken, something that we haven't seen committed by this Pirates defense today. Is they're usually sure-handed tacklers. Good to see that Gomez is back out there after coming off on the last play, though. So that should help with the linebacker core.
The Lobos come out with the jumbo package. Matthew DeLeon at 235 pounds, along with the quarterback Maxwell at 230. There's the snap. Maxwell looks down the seam, and he's able to hit the receiver in tight coverage. Isaiah Villarreal. He stopped just shy of the line needed for the first down by about 2 yards.
And that's where he was able to utilize that 6'3" frame, though. Makes a big target, but here on 3rd and short, the only time they've really gone with the running game is when they go with the power run formation, but they have a big back in the backfield.
Yeah, DeLeon. He's 235, Maxwell's 230. And they're going to fake to DeLeon, and the pass intended and caught by number 11, again, Isaiah Villarreal for a first down Lobos.
Well, good play call offensively, as you had to respect both the run and the pass there. The Pirates electing to go with the man-to-man coverage, but realizing that they're going to give up a lot of size on those matches outside on the islands.
Well, Villarreal did a good job of using his body to get between the defender and the football and make that catch. Right back in at running back, just to the right side of Maxwell. They'll fake to right. Maxwell looks to throw, and Villarreal covered by Cam Terry on the slant pass, a little bit too far in front of him, incomplete.
This has been a long drive to start off this 3rd quarter, as they've eaten up almost an entire 5 minutes of this 3rd quarter play. Have the Lobos, but will they have points to show for it? That's the big question here.
They've already had one drive that resulted in no points with a 4-play stand by the Pirates inside the 5. 2nd and 10 here. Maxwell takes the snap, drops straight back. Pass tipped at the line, almost intercepted by Blaine Corkin. That was Alec Gomez able to get his paw on it, and Corkin made an effort but couldn't scoop it up. What would have been an interception for the Pirates. Instead, 3rd and 10 Lobos.
Yeah, unable to come up with the tip drill, but putting the pressure on Clayton Maxwell, that's something that you want to see this Pirates defense get back to doing with consistency, is making life difficult for the QB in the pocket.
We got an empty set here for the Lobos. 5 receivers, 3 here on the wide side of the formation. Maxwell takes the snap, drops back. Pass complete over the middle, a little tunnel screen to number 5 for a first down. Austin Remo, real close yet. They're going to say he is a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 7 for the Lobos with 10:42 and counting here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, lots of discombobulation on the defense. You can see they were still trying to line up with that 5 wide receiver look, and they did have that hole right in the middle of the field, so somebody's coverage was blown.
Yeah, and you could hear the Southwestern Pirate coaching staff here in the booth screaming to get in position, something they obviously worked on at some point during the season. Isaias Wright to the left of Maxwell. He takes the snap, rolls that way, looking downfield as he rolls. Pass is intercepted in the back of the end zone as Maxwell tries to force it in, and that is number 4, Eli Norris, and he takes a lap down the sideline of the Lobos after taking that football away from their offense.
And there's the flag. Can't have fun like that in the game of football. You know that.
It's been it was a little bit long to throw the flag, and it's way over here near the middle of the field.
But
so.
he went 50 yards in front of the opposite bench. If that happened to the Pirates, you would have been hot.
I probably would have gotten over it, though.
I would have. I wouldn't have cared. But I know other fans that.
Oh, yes.
That's like their pet peeve. It's like, how dare you celebrate my misfortune in front of my bench?
Well, Eli Norris and that secondary, not one to shy away from a celebration.
Like, if he went 20 yards, maybe 30 yards and cut it off a little short, but he went in front of the whole bench.
He had to make the tour, the grand tour.
I'm not hating on it, though.
No.
Good play.
Great
obviously,
play,
because
yeah.
it happened for the team that I cover. So it's a great play there. I'm surprised that Maxwell decided to try to force it in like that when he definitely had a running lane. And that's where I'm thinking the hits that he's taken today have added up.
Well, Gilpin has two backs. He'll hand to Marion going to the short side of the field, and he'll get wrapped up from behind. No, not much there as Quincy Blair came down the line and draped himself over Quan Marion.
And now I'm going to be interested to see how the Pirates' offense clicks to start the third quarter, as they had that safety to close out their possessions of the first half of play.
It's been a little while since they've had the football, and we have a flag thrown in the defensive backfield before the Pirates even broke the huddle. Interesting penalty flag, not one that's typically thrown unless the play clock had winded down. I didn't notice that.
Well, no, this flag looks like it's going to go against the Lobos.
He must have said something.
That's the only thing that I could think of at this
Because
juncture.
there wasn't any physical interaction, but the referee said, hey, you can't talk like that. And threw a flag, and that'll push the line of scrimmage to the 25. It'll be first down Pirates. Fake to Marion. Gilpin keeps it to the wide side, breaks the tackle, cuts up near the numbers, and will carry up to about the 27. Not a whole lot there. He made something out of nothing there. Quincy Blair leading the charge for the Lobos on the stop.
I'm just thinking how everything evened out for Norris. You had that unsportsmanlike
Yeah.
penalty, then you get one back, so it was already a safety as he made the interception in the touchdown, or a touchback as he made the interception in the end zone. So the Pirates getting into the 25 after all.
And what goes around comes around, and Eli Norris must be putting a lot of good out into the world. More good than bad, at least. 28-9. Two running backs beside Gilpin. There's the snap. Gilpin will hand to Marion, running to the wide side of the field. He's up over the 25-30, and he's going to get drugged down near the 34. They're going to mark him at the 33.
You know, it's funny. There's nothing wrong with being so bad it's good. You know?
Exactly.
And he's been bad today. He's been making some big plays, says Norris.
Oh, yes. 3rd and 2. And none bigger, really, than that interception that really Sol Ross had an opportunity to cut the lead to 28-16 or maybe even 28-17 had they gone for 2 and converted. So great job by Norris there in the secondary to pick that one. Marion, the running back beside Gilpin. Gilpin will fake to Marion. Looked like there might have been a face mask there, but no whistle. There quickly defensively is Quincy Blair's. He appears to really be mirroring what Landry Gilpin's doing, at least here in the second half.
Yeah, you imagine that the adjustments that had been made is to put some of their faster players on Gilpin to try to screen him and cover him as he tries to make his magic happen. And so far, but again, it's been a long time since the Pirate offense have been out there, so I figured it was going to take at least a series for them to start clicking again.
Get warmed back up. Back deep to receive the punt, Devin Mendoza for the Lobos. Will Herbst will be punting for the Pirates. He moves to his left, gets his foot into it. Mendoza will make the fair catch at the 35 of the Lobos, and they'll have their second possession of the second half. Score still 28-9, 7:31 remaining here in the third quarter.
When we talk about all these teams putting things together at the very end of the season, you should see the complete vision for these coaches, scheme-wise, player development-wise, and see the progress that they have had throughout this year. And this defense for Southwestern, they've been tested each and every way that you could think of possible, and they've answered the call each and every time so far, as there have been no real answers except some miraculous play made and a lot of passing here for the Lobos.
Well, Maxwell will come out with Wright as his running back. He'll hand to Wright, and he'll get punished right in the hole as Corkin and Alec Gomez have a Zoom meeting with Ozias Wright. They're going to give him a gain of 1, but he ran into a brick wall there.
Yeah, Peyton Vaughn putting in a little bit of a smack with that right shoulder as well. A huge hit.
Yeah, that was not the kind of collision you want to be on the receiving end of. Pistol formation here for the Lobos. Right to the left of Maxwell. Maxwell takes the snap, kind of moves to his left. Pass is complete. The receiver has to come back a couple of yards shy to make the catch. That is number 11, Villarreal. He's going to be shy of the line needed by, like I said, about 1.5 yards, 2 yards. Looks like they're going to push it up and make it a 3rd and 1.
The defensive backs have been rather solid, though, for the Pirates today, especially being put on these one-on-one situations
with some really big receivers.
Exactly where I was getting at. Much taller opposition.
Ozias Wright in the backfield next to Clayton Maxwell, the quarterback. Maxwell will hand to Wright. He has a little bit of the edge. He's over midfield 45, and he's going to be chased out of bounds by Eli Norris. Norris making the tackle right as Wright was going out of bounds. He kind of playing a little risky game there because a quick flag from a referee might get you ejected from the game.
That's true. I will say I like this adjustment that has been made offensively for the Lobos as they try to lean on the running game here.
Well, it's 1st and 10 here for the Lobos, 5:50. Maxwell will hand to Wright. It's a flea flicker as he pitches back to Maxwell. They got the receiver wide open down the field on the seam, and that's Lovano for the touchdown. And it's now 28-15.
By way of the big play yet again, and this time it was Ludeman over the middle who bit on the play fake. And that's the aggressiveness of the Pirates defense.
Well, they pulled a little bit of a trick play out of the hat, not an uncommon one, but as much as they've run the ball with Ozias Wright, the defense came up thinking it was a run.
And rightfully so, but good play calling by the offensive coordinator, pulled out the flea flicker at the best time possible. And again, they caught Ludeman, forcing him to try to fill a gap that didn't need filling. And
going for 2. Maxwell's pass is broken up there by number 7, Peyton Vaughn, so it will remain 28-15. That's still just a 2-possession game, though.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of breathing room. It's a little comfortable, but not by a whole lot. Pirates offense is going to have to come back, answer, and look to respond with a score of their own right, regardless of field goal or touchdown.
We talked about Brandon Jennings and his leadership and age and experience, and as soon as that touchdown was scored by the Lobos, I looked to the bench, and Brandon Jennings was riling up the offense to get ready to get out there and give them some type of answer. At the very least, give your defense some rest by moving the ball down the field.
Oh, that's another thing, too. That defense has been out there for quite a while, and I know that they were able to get the extended break during halftime, but after stopping them not once but twice and then having to get back out there and stop them again only to let up the score, it was inevitable.
Well, you keep Sol Ross beneath 20 points on the year, you're having a pretty good outing, and so far that defense has done that to this point.
I mean, if you go back and look at the entire schedule for both of these teams, there's teams that the Pirates lost to that Sol Ross beat.
Right.
And then there's teams that the Pirates, dismantled Sol Ross. So right. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to get.
Yeah, it's matchups. And we're seeing a pretty good matchup here. Pirates on top, 28-15. Big kick from the kicker. It'll go out of bounds. That's number 84, Osvaldo Luna. That's the second kickoff in a row that he kicked it out of bounds. We'll see if the Pirates make – doesn't look like they're going to make them re-kick as the offense comes out onto the field. Ball going to be at the 35-yard line.
And they happily took the penalty last time, and they'll take it again here today. Or, excuse me, here in the second half.
Again today.
Yeah.
It does seem like a while since the first half. 5:43 remaining here in the third quarter. Pirates on top, 28-15. Quan Marion in the backfield with Landry Gilpin. We got a little bit of confusion on where to spot the ball as the referee now moves it to the right hash mark instead of the center of the field. Pirates will have two receivers on both sides of the formation. Gilpin will take the snap, roll to his right. Pass is complete to Eric Ovalle at about the 39 as he steps out of bounds. So that'll be a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Well, the clock is still ticking.
His forward progress had stopped. So when he went out of bounds, he was going backwards. And so they won't stop the clock.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Plus, I only think they'll stop the clock in those situations that, it's obvious you want the clock stopped. Handoff to Marion, and he'll be tripped up after a minimal gain at the line of scrimmage. Looks like that is number 29 on that tackle, Aiden Montez. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4, ball at the 41.
I mean, the Pirates will gladly take their time here.
Yeah, they need to eat up as much of every play clock as possible. Play clock as possible. Quan Marion, the running back, beside Gilpin, two receivers either side of the formation. Gilpin takes a snap, drops straight back, plenty of time, hits the open receiver near midfield, Eric Ovalle, right around the 49-yard line. It'll be a first down, Pirates.
Yeah, 2 consecutive possessions for Ovalle. Another good throw from the pocket by Gilpin, again, showing us more of his ability here as a passer today.
And he had plenty of time. Great job by that offensive line, led by a lot of youngsters. But they played well and have progressed throughout the season. 4:17 and moving on the clock. Gilpin looks over the defense. 3 receivers here on the near side. Gilpin rolls that direction, hits Aiden Huerta in the flat. He'll carry it into Sol Ross territory at the 38. Another Pirate first down.
One of the most dangerous things about Gilpin is that he doesn't have to have both hands on the football to make an accurate throw. He's one of those guys that can just sling it from the hip. And
from any angle, it's really bizarre.
Yeah, you're not always ready for it. And it was just so smooth and effortless for him, but I know other quarterbacks that would struggle to make a similar throw.
Well, the Pirates will have 2 running backs in this formation. Gilpin takes the snap, rolls to his right, flips it to Marion. He's unable to haul it in there. Quincy Blair on the coverage for the Lobos. And that was right where Marion could catch it, and it typically would, but does not there. Second down.
Everybody will have one.
Well, some of us have a dozen or so.
But that ball, though, thrown right where it needed to be with the defender on Jaquan Marion's back.
It'll be second down now. Gilpin will take the snap, drop straight back. Deep pass down the left sideline for Dugan Sexton. A lot of contact, no flags. Good coverage there by number 85, Taryn Lemuel. It's going to bring up third down. That incompletion, the clock will stop at 3:39 here in the third quarter.
Yeah, both players going for possession. Both had hands all over each other, so rightfully no flag thrown. I'll be interested to see how this play call ends up. Will they decide to hand off and just keep the clock ticking, especially with Jennings in there, who is a possible lead blocker?
Well, drop back to pass. Gilpin rolls to his right. He's got pressure, decides to tuck and run. He's up over the 30, spins for the first down, inside the 25 to the 23. Another Pirate first down. They'll move the chains and that clock will burn.
How unfair is that? No, seriously, how unfair is that? You had Lorenzo Fowler, the defensive lineman from Austin, just down the road. He was trailing right on the heat of pursuit of Landry Gilpin, and I could hear the coaches saying, "Get rid of it, go." and the truth of the matter is that Gilpin, he has that internal clock, and he knew that he has that half extra step on the guy pursuing him. Again, just natural, but amazing.
He has
amazing
eyes
stuff.
in the back of his head. 1st and 10 Pirates. Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back, rolls to the left, sets up throws complete to Aiden Huerta, who'll spin for the first down to the 12-yard line before he's stacked up and stopped by the Lobos defense. Getting up off the bottom of the pile for the Lobos, number 51, Caden Fregia.
So let's be real, folks. Come on. You know that you were at home on the last play, not the one that just transpired, but the one where Gilpin was running away. And I'm sure you were watching on whatever viewing device you're using, yelling at the screen, "Get rid of it, go!"
1st and 10 for the Pirates. Gilpin will take the snap, roll to the wide side of the field, air it down to Ovalle for a touchdown, Pirates. Just a pitch and catch. Ovalle with a deep end. He was on the outside, got to the goal line, and just dragged right along the goal line. And great pass by Gilpin.
The chemistry today between Ovalle and Gilpin on the money, as he went to Ovalle 3 times on that offensive drive, but amazing. They went from the 35 after getting the kickoff with that penalty, and then were able to drive it the rest of the field, no problems.
Well, there's the answer that the Pirates wanted to the Sol Ross touchdown. Will Herbst on the point after is good. Score now 35-15 with 2:34 remaining here in the third quarter. Let's go on ahead and mention the corporate sponsors once again. These corporate sponsors make it much more manageable for the football program to cover costs, including broadcasts and coaches shows and things like that. And corporate sponsors include Antioch Georgetown Chapel Realty Group with Roger Chapel, Chick-fil-A, Chisholm Trail Pediatrics, CJ's Catering, Hewlett Chevrolet Buick Volkswagen, Double Dave's Pizza, Eagles Wings Home Services, First Texas Bank, Gary Brown CPA, Georgetown Commercial Properties, Georgetown Shirt Company, Georgetown Title, Groove Line Productions, HEB, Hello Georgetown, John F. Lewis CPA, Mighty Fine, Minutemen Press, Waterboy Graphics, Primerica Financial Solutions with Derek McGill, Ross and Champion CPAs, Rudy's, St. David's Georgetown Hospital, Schlotsky's, Sheraton Austin Georgetown Hotel and Conference Center, Stephanie Featherstone, State Farm, Upstream Investment Partners with Scott Olson, Whataburger, and Wolf Ranch. Charlie Fournier will kick here for the Pirates with 2:34 remaining in the third quarter. Gets a nice high kick. It's going to be fair caught right around the 27-yard line by number 5, Austin Remo. He was a little more confident in his call there than the last time.
Yeah, this time he definitely knew what to expect. I'm trying to see what we will expect from the Lobos offense. I'm assuming more of the same, utilizing a little bit more of the running game like we saw just moments ago. But now that they're behind 35-15, expect them to try to take those quick strikes downfield. And they like to do so in this bunch formation.
Well, Clayton Maxwell will have right in the backfield. He'll take the snap, forced up in the pocket. Ball's on the ground. Blaine Corkin with the recovery. The Pirates have the football once again, the third turnover here today.
And turnover factory being manufactured by this Pirates defense. And it didn't take much, but a well-placed hand leading to that fumble. Terrific stuff there by the Pirates defense, as they have been able to, the one thing I have said, while they played well this entire season for the most part, they have had a lack of turnovers, but today they have put it all together, causing all sorts of issues for the Sol Ross offense.
Let's see if the offense can do something with that turnover. 2:28 remaining. Gilpin, 2 running backs, Brandon Jennings and Marion in the backfield. Gilpin rolls to his right, flips it downfield. It's complete to Ethan Powell, and it looked like he may have had enough for a first down, but he came back to try to make a play, but instead got wrapped up. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2.
that's exactly what it looked like, and that's exactly what ended up happening. But ideally, and I was just thinking about this, you would like to get to the fourth quarter, try to get one more score. So here on Senior Day, a lot of these guys that put in a lot of work throughout the week that don't necessarily get to have the glory on college football Saturday get a chance to get in there.
Well, and there's probably some seniors who put in years of work that may not get to play as much as they would want, and you want to give them that opportunity. Marion with a handoff from Gilpin. He's in for the score. Just quickly, just like that, a 20-yard carry for Quan Marion, and we'll have a celebration penalty as a flag comes in after the touchdown.
Man, no fun, huh? No fun in this game. Is that what football stands for now?
No fun league.
No, I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. He wasn't gesturing towards anybody.
He didn't throw a football
He wasn't
at
in
anyone.
anybody else's face.
Didn't stand over anyone.
He didn't go over to their sideline. I understand what that's for.
Active play, dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 58. Flag.
Oh, number 58.
15 yards on the kickoff.
So they're saying that was on the offensive line?
They are putting that on Demetrius Elko, freshman out of Katy. Will Erbst will attempt the point after.
I mean, the offensive line did open up that hole. So, I mean, it's like if somebody was talking trash, I understand.
They should celebrate. They should get to celebrate. Kerr with the hole. Kick is good. The score now 42-15 with 1:36 remaining here in the third quarter.
I mean, I'm an equal opportunity hater. So, you know, if you want to celebrate, that's fine. Just expect the celebration back. But, I mean, I'm not one of those people that gets bent out of shape because the celebrating happens in the middle of a game.
Yeah, maybe there was something said, like you mentioned earlier. And to me, that's really the only excuse for that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty besides,
something
an
egregious.
assault.
Yeah, I mean, if it's egregious and it's definitely uncalled for, that's one thing. But, I mean, look, the Norris thing where he went 50 yards in front of the sideline, I get it. But this wasn't on the running back, and that's where I thought it was on
Marion.
Marion because of his celebration. And I was like, well, it wasn't directed towards anyone. So how could that be?
There had to have been words where a push.
Or there might have been an extra push that we just didn't catch.
A return push. It's always the person retaliating that gets caught. So Charlie Fournier will come out to kick once again for the Southwestern University Pirates as they lead 42-15 here.
Isn't it funny, in the game of American football, you're taught to be so aggressive and to finish throughout the whistle and maybe just like a half second right after, but you're also taught to turn the other cheek in those instances where you have to try to keep your aggression in check.
Well, it's tough because you have to be able to put some kind of governor on that passion. Fournier gets a nice kick, sending Parker way back. He mishandles it and scoops it at the 5. He's going to carry it over the 15, spin his way forward towards the 20, and there are just too many Pirates waiting on him there to get much more. Dugan Sexton coming out of the bottom of that pile with Jamarcus Ross, and it looks like number 21 also there, Quan Jones, the freshman defensive back.
And that's why he plays defensive back, this Parker, is because of those hands like that.
Otherwise, he'd be playing receiver with that speed.
And that's what it usually comes down to, is just having those sure hands. It's funny, you just talked about that restriction. I was a little while ago, it got me to think, in NASCAR, they call that the restricted plate.
Right.
Right.
It's a governor is what I call it.
There you go. You're talking about the governor.
They'll hand it off to Ozias Wright, and coming in quickly to make the stop, Peyton Vaughn. They're going to give Wright a gain of about 4 yards to the 25, 2nd and 6.
Interesting that they went with a run play straight out of the gate. I figured now that they really desperately need the points that they were just going to take to the air.
You got to keep the defense honest. So if you can get Wright in the secondary, he's shown that he's got this quickness, speed to move down the field in a hurry.
If I was Sol Ross, I'd put more of these wide receivers on one-on-ones.
Handoff goes to Wright again. He's picking his way, and he gets the edge, almost breaks through. Stolen from him by number 9 of the Pirates, Patrick Nicholas. He just took the ball right out of the hands of Ozias Wright, and another turnover for the Pirate defense.
Amazing. He just ripped it right out of his grasp. as he was going downfield, and you saw he lost his balance just a little bit, and that was that tug. And I thought maybe he was just trying to hold on with both hands, but he actually lost the football. You want to learn something new? You know, we've been going throughout the whole season about these big words. Let me teach you another SAT word.
Okay.
It's called a glom, G-L-O-M. That means steal. As he just swiped it away from him, glommed him.
Yeah, that was slick. It was almost as if the ball was handed to Patrick Nicholas. Pirates see if they can capitalize here. Up big, 42-15. Gilpin with two running backs, Jennings and Marion in the backfield. Check that. That's Taisagua. Pass complete on the left sideline to Dugan Sexton for another Pirate touchdown. What a play by Gilpin. While I'm spending my time trying to figure out who the running backs are, Gilpin is throwing a touchdown pass down the left sideline to Dugan Sexton.
Oh, right on the money to Sexton. They have become better with their chemistry as the season progressed. And if you saw it in the backfield, he was pushed down from behind. He was just laying there on the turf, was Landry Gilpin, and he just looked at his sideline, and he knew as soon as they started celebrating that they scored.
Point after by Will Herbst is good.
Ooh, there's the flag. I saw that. I saw that.
Flag.
That was number 18 from Sol Ross, who almost hit the Pirate player a little below the belt. And I don't know if that was what he was aiming for necessarily, but he definitely made that slight contact. Did Dalton Bills, the freshman from Belleville, Texas. And you wonder, like, especially now that the score is starting to get a little out of hand, when that chippiness was going to arrive from Sol Ross.
Yeah, that's just frustration right there.
On defense, number 18.
And they did catch that, as you mentioned. And you had mentioned the chemistry developing as the season wore on between Gilpin and Dugan Sexton. And the great thing about that for Pirate fans is Landry Gilpin has been here a couple of years, but he's still considered a sophomore. Sexton a freshman. So that connection has a lot of games still available over the next couple of seasons to really grow, and we can maybe see something special between those two guys.
Yeah, you can only imagine with the way that this offensive line has put things together over the last 3 games. And you mentioned it's a younger bunch, so once they can get that extra seasoning, they continue to grow. This is a team that we'll see ultimately with Gilpin at the helm, hopefully, go into a new conference and really be able to make some headway quickly when they do move over after the next season.
If they don't do it this last season in the American Southwest Conference, which is possible, Fournier gets a deep kick well out of the back of the end zone after the assessment of the personal foul penalty. So the Lobos will start on their own 25.
But the Pirates definitely have pieces, young pieces in place that can help them out. The question's going to be in the kicking game. You know, does Will Earps come back? Does he have another year available? You think of the defense.
Done. It's going to be Fournier.
You think about Bernard Century. Does he want to come back and play an extra year if they can make that happen? You think about guys like a J.J. Slack, who's been out for most of the year, but it was a big key for them on special teams and on defense earlier this year.
One conference player of the week, second week. There's a snap. Maxwell will hand to the big running back. That's number 25, running straight ahead, Matthew DeLeon, for a gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards.
And the other question for the Pirates going forward, it's going to be like who steps up in those leadership positions. You got a guy that's almost irreplaceable in Brandon Jennings and what he brings to the table, but that backfield is loaded and obviously has plenty of ammo at their disposal.
Well, the Pirates will oftentimes, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. The score 49-15 will stay here with the broadcast. The Pirates will oftentimes bring back former players to, you know, do a little assistant coaching or, you know, assist with the coaching staff during games and such. And TJ Villanueva from last season's here today. You know, I've seen some other players. So that's a place that I wouldn't be surprised to see Brandon Jennings putting in a little bit of extra time for the Pirates next season in more of an administrative coaching role.
Well, you know, you mentioned all those former Pirate players. I guess we could take this time to shout out all of them that view these broadcasts. I know that there are a few from the years of yesteryear that will pop up in the chat box. So we see all ya. Good to have you along for the ride today.
Yeah, it's a good program that is still in development. That's the key. You have a program that was in existence before World War II.
That was like the dawn of time? Okay.
Yeah, and now, you know, big, long break, and they're back in action. Maxwell drops back, has a step in the pocket looking. He has a receiver that he is able to complete it to, and that's Lovano, who'll pick up a first down to the 38.
Hey, I can say this because I went to school there, but the Aggies, you know, they hang their hat on that 39 national championship.
Yes.
Well,
They don't let it go.
No, and Southwestern is more than welcome to hang their hat on that victory against Texas University. You know?
Yeah. Well, and they also have a win over LSU. So we had on the trip to Cal Lutheran.
Oh, okay.
We had a lot of LSU fans on our flight that were going to see LSU play UCLA. We have a new quarterback, double pass in the flat, but out there defensively, the Pirates able to give all kinds of pressure, leading the charge, Edmundo Suarez. But as the LSU fans boarded the plane, we were in a delay. Coach Austin had the players sing the Southwestern University school song, but before he did, he, over the PA, he reminded LSU that the Pirates are 1-0 against Louisiana State.
Now I got to see what year that took place.
It was before World War II.
I'm assuming 30-something?
Yeah, it was in the 30s at some point. Two receivers on the far side, short side of the formation. Maxwell looks that way, pass completed to number 6, Lovano. He'll step out of bounds at the 42. He also offered to allow LSU the opportunity to avenge that loss, but the price tag for getting Southwestern to travel to Baton Rouge was pretty pricey.
Oh, I mean, I would hope so. I mean, that's a big D1 university. They should be able to shell out the cash.
An SEC school at that. Two receivers here on the wide side of the formation.
Like, I understand that the possibilities of winning aren't necessarily large, but, you know, you take the money when you can get it.
That's right. Well, and you never know. That's why they play the games. That incompletion is going to bring up 4th down for the Lobos, and they'll have to bring their punting unit out at 4th and 6. I suppose they could go for it close to midfield, but you've given the Pirates much too short of a field to work with offensively. Cam Terry will go back to field this punt.
You know, my man, we were talking about how Southwestern beat LSU, and we said it happened like in the 30s.
Yeah.
We're way off.
Was it?
Yeah, that game happened around this time of year back in 1911.
1911.
So we're that's over 100 years ago now.
Still a dub. Still
well,
a
actually,
W.
it will be 100 years next weekend.
Okay, so it was 21, not 11.
Yeah, November 18, 1911.
So it's going to be 110
years.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a penalty flag down as Cam Terry fields the punt and carries it up the Lobos sideline to about the 35.
I'm not sure the forward pass wasn't enacted in 1911, but the final score of that game was 17-6. So the Pirates defense, like they're doing today, they did against the old SEC opponent in LSU back in 1911.
Yes, they didn't throw the ball often, but there was a guy not that long after that time that was famous for doing it, and he even had the nickname Slingin' Sammy Ball. So
I thought you were going to talk to me about Otto Graham, but I'm like,
I
even
could go
then,
there.
that's old. That's like 50s and 60s. But I mean, if we're going to the 30s and 40s, it's tough for me to find somebody.
Sammy Ball's one of them.
Maybe Doak Walker.
Yeah, Doak Walker
could
played
do a little
at
bit of everything.
TCU.
But besides Sammy Ball, Doak Walker, guys like that, I can't really think of who was like the de facto forward passer of the time, especially in 1911.
So after the penalty assessment, and I didn't see what the penalty was, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Pirates from their own 15-yard line. 2 backs in the backfield with Gilpin. Gilpin will hand to Taisagua, and he'll get tripped up at the line of scrimmage, gain of a couple of yards. There to cut him down, number 54 for the Lobos, Sol Moore. They're going to give Gianni Taisagua a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7.
You know, this is one of the first games this entire season where I've actually lost track of what's happening on the field because the game has been so one-sided, but this time in favor of the Pirates.
Gilpin takes the snap, drops straight back, picks up a block from Jennings, flips it downfield, pass is caught by Eric Ovalle, and they're going to say it is a reception for a 1st down Pirates at the 38-yard line. Nice pitch and catch there from Gilpin to Ovalle, and as you mentioned, they've been on a wavelength with one another here today.
Yeah, there was a scoring drive where he hooked up with him 3 times down the field. This time, though, give tons of credit to Ovalle as he was able to tiptoe the line.
Gilpin will take the snap. He'll hand it to Taisagua. He'll carry it straight ahead. He'll break out over midfield. He's looking for a lane and spins down to the Lobo 45. Nice gain there from Gianni Taisagua.
Yeah, great run there. Even better blocking downfield from Ovalle. So he just made the catch to the senior from Laredo and then did his blocking duties as well to help out his teammate.
I talked to Ethan Powell earlier in the week. Unfortunately, we had some technical issues with the audio, and unless you were there live, you didn't really get to see it. But that's one of the things they try to compete with one another, and that's blocking. Handoff to Taisagua as he carries behind right guard for a gain of about 3.
And right now I see Joseph Lara and Damian Gomez, both from McAllen.
Warming up.
Yeah, they're both warming up amongst each other, both the Valley boys. And you can imagine they must be just waiting for their moment to go in, especially given the score 49-15 here in the 4th quarter.
Well, Taisagua and Jennings, the running backs, beside Gilpin, 2 receivers on the wide side of the formation. Gilpin pass intended for Ovalle, broken up as the pass arrived by number 1, James Parker, and he has something to say to Ovalle as Ovalle passes by. And you know, the corners are just those guys. They gotta talk, right?
I like it. You know,
he's like on the Pirate sideline right now saying, keep talking.
I know there's teams that are like, you're down by so much, you should stop talking, but I've never been one of those guys. I'm like, you still got to play with that same intensity. That's what you want. You want somebody that's going to compete.
So Gilpin takes the snap, kind of looks downfield, rolls to his right, flips it, incomplete. The only person there in the vicinity would be Colby Bartlett. Looked like they weren't on the same page, or Gilpin was just throwing that away.
You know, because honestly, Chuck, I get it. You know, you live and die with your team, but at the end of the day, it's not your job on the line if your team wins or loses. It's the coach's job on the line if the team wins or loses. But there's nothing wrong with having fun in a sport that is a game.
Well, and technically, your job could be on the line if you make a bunch of bad plays for your position and cost your team the game. But you're right. It's not a paid position here in college other than your education. We have a whistle before the snap.
But you know how sometimes guys can just be really difficult on players that exude a little too much personality. And I'm like, but they need that swagger to play. That's what makes them good. And it's like, why would you want to take that away from them? Even if you're down by a lot. I get it that you want to reel in certain things. There might be some outlandishness that is uncalled for at a certain point, but I want them still competing no matter what the score is personally if I'm a head coach.
Well, and that's the purpose of playing the game out and filming that game and studying that film later. I don't think Sol Ross is going to study this film to look for the successful things that occurred for them today against Sol Ross as much as they're looking for things that they can fix. going into the next season or their off season.
I'm just been surprised by how off balance they have been. I expected a little bit more from Sul Ross just because their last couple of contests were so close. They had chances to win those games, and they've had some victories prior to this during the season where they've looked really good at times. And I thought maybe we were going to get more of that here towards the end of the season.
Will Earpst in to punt for the Pirates. He takes the snap, moves to his left, kicks it nice and deep. It'll be down by the Pirates inside the 5 at the 1 yard line. Mendoza was back to receive that punt. He probably regrets letting that one get by him and probably should have thrown that arm up and attempted a fair catch.
Probably should have tried to haul it in, but Patrick Nicholas in
He's
pursuit.
bearing down pretty quickly.
And you had 2 players right behind the ball, but another great kick by Will Earpst, and that's somebody that, you know, you think about it, it's special teams, but the Pirates are going to have to replace him as well, and that's not just your field goal kicker, but that's your punter as well. So it's like, you know, you're getting a sweet 2-for-1 deal right there.
Well, and the Pirates have a punter in waiting, and they do have Charlie Fournier for place kicking duties. They're going to hand off to number 25, the Lobos, Matthew DeLeon, but we haven't seen much of them. They haven't had a whole lot of game experience because of Will Earpst, and you really want to use Earpst as a weapon, you know, pre-conference player to watch.
Well, and not only that, but he also brings to you that ability to bring out the fakes and be successful.
Very athletic for a kicker. Not that kickers aren't athletic. He just shines with a little more athleticism than the typical kicker. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. They hand off to DeLeon, and he gets met by Bernard Century, and also they're cleaning it up for the Pirates, number 56, William Whitehurst.
You know, that would be an interesting conversation to have.
Check that, it's Chris Smith.
I wonder if it could be between kickers and punters. I want to always say that the punter is the more athletic of the 2 kicking positions on the field. I think most would agree, but I would love your take out there.
At the higher levels, that's definitely the case. In fact, punters are oftentimes quarterbacks, at least early in my football observing was the case. And the handoff to DeLeon doesn't get anything, maybe a yard. It's 4th down again as the Pirate defense stiffens once again, and the punting unit for the Lobos comes back out. The clock moving at 9:25.
Chuck, it's okay to admit that you're a Tom Tupa fan.
Well, I had, you know, being a Cowboys fan, Danny White, and maybe I'm dating myself a little bit. But,
just a little.
But Danny White out of Arizona State, great passer, also an even better punter. Punt is off, fielded by Cam Terry around midfield. He gets wrapped up immediately in Pirate territory. James Parker there with an excellent tackle for the Lobos.
You know, if he played for a franchise like the Cleveland Browns, people would give him all his accolades that he does deserve by leading the Cowboys to 3 straight NFC Championship game appearances. But since he played for the Cowboys, obviously that's not good enough. We expect Super Bowls. But right now, I would take an NFC Championship appearance.
Yeah, one of those was against the Joe Montana-led San Francisco 49ers. Yes, Dwight Clark. It still gives me nightmares. 2 receivers either side of the formation. Jennings, the running back. We have number 10 and at quarterback now. I think maybe I misread the number. Oh, I checked that as number 18, Coleman Kerr, getting his time under center here. We'll pick up 3 yards, 2nd and 7.
And this is great to see. The senior from Leakey, Texas on senior day, final home game here in the final game ever as a Pirate, getting an opportunity to shine and see if he can lead his team on a scoring drive.
Jennings will be the running back. Snap gets by Coleman Kerr. He's able to get on it, but it's a big loss for the Pirates all the way back to the 36. They got to get to the 42-yard line of the Lobos to keep this drive alive, and they're actually 36 is where they're going to mark it.
And I'm sorry, Coleman. I know that was the curse of the commentator for sure.
Well, Coleman Kerr's had a couple of runs at quarterback here for the Southwestern University Pirates a couple years ago when I was the sideline reporter, and the Pirates were going through a rash of injuries at the position. Kerr, probably the most productive of all the quarterbacks that season. He'll take the snap straight ahead and carry a pile of guys up over the 40 to about the 42. That's the year that Landry Gilpin tore his knee up without contact in a game against TLU.
I mean, but that's your job as the person that needs to step up. The first one they go to, he's going to be more than comparable in order to perform, obviously. But, Gilpin staying healthy this season didn't give him too many opportunities, especially in so many close contests, especially down midway and down the stretch of the season.
Well, it's tough to beat out a guy with the skill set of Landry Gilpin. Will Herbst to punt. Gets a nice low drive on the punt. Parker able to field it at the 15. Gets knocked down immediately by number 21 for the Pirates. And that's going to be Quan Jones, the freshman, getting down the field in a hurry. 6:55 remaining in the ball game.
Yeah, terrific pursuit on special teams. And there really hasn't been any weak points of this entire Pirates unit today, as every facet of the game has fired and hit on every cylinder.
Oh, yes. You could see the different aspects of football for the Pirates all coming together as the season wore on, and we're seeing the product of all of that today. Maxwell's pass incomplete, intended for Villarreal.
But, as I look ahead to next season, I think what my goals would be for this squad is just you want to be more competitive, obviously. You want to be able to stay closer with teams like Mary Hardin Baylor.
I think consistency is going to be one of those goals.
But one of the things is that now you know that this is a team that's capable. At least right now, they're going to have to fill some pieces eventually, but they're capable of beating those midway point teams in the conference, like an East Texas Baptist, like a Howard Payne. This is a team that if some of those games just go a little bit differently, we're talking about maybe a 4th or 3rd place finish in the ASC.
Yeah.
It really is just that much of a difference. It's not by much. The Pirates are right on the edge of getting over the hump.
Well, Edmundo Suarez wrapping up Matthew DeLeon on that prior play for a minimal gain. It's 3rd and 9 for the Lobos. Maxwell takes the snap, drops straight back. Pass incomplete, hit the receiver on the hands, but as soon as he broke out of the route, the ball was there, and Chris Shaw wasn't quite ready for it. So it'll be 4th down. And the Lobos will bring out the punting unit once again with 6:10 on the game clock.
I have to admit, Chuck, I don't know what to do with myself right now. We haven't really been in this situation this year, and I know you also do Leander football, so you haven't really been in this situation this year as well, at least not on the winning side.
The games they win are tight. Cam Terry with a fair catch in Lobo territory. They're going to mark him at the 48-yard line.
I just imagine as we get closer towards the end of this game, it being the final game of the season, that we're going to see a whole lot of new faces come in.
Oh, for sure. Well, maybe in this game, but I'm thinking even down the road next football season, we're going to see a lot of the guys that are on this roster that we never called suddenly in the lineup making plays.
Yeah, somebody like a Jarrett Robinson, who's on the offensive line right now.
Correct. Coleman Kerr takes the snap, hands to Brandon Jennings. Not much there on the left side as the Lobos pack up and prevent Jennings from getting more than about a yard, leading the way defensively, Cameron Ball.
32, Jennings taking on the carry.
He's out of Cypress, Bridgeland High School, a freshman. That's pretty good. He's been having a pretty good game today for a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, Sol Ross is another one of those teams that had a lot of pieces come back from last season. They were really unable to build from it, but you can see it even here today, despite the score, that there are 1 or 2 players there that can really shine for them next year.
Yeah, they're just a few players short of being really competitive team. Coleman Kerr looking to pass complete to number 1, Cam Collins, near the line to gain for the first down. We'll see. It'll depend on the spot. And they are saying that he's shy by about 1.5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down. They've got the ball marked just beyond the 40.
You know, not everybody gets the storybook ending, but for Cam Collins, if that's going to end up being your last reception of your career, I definitely take it.
Well, just getting out there playing, getting a reception, I agree. And some of these guys, you know, they're listed as seniors. They may end up back with the COVID rule last season not counting towards their football eligibility. The problem with Southwestern is they don't have graduate programs. Gianni Taisagua on the carry, he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you have to admit that is one of the caveats that Coach Austin has to work against. It's just that there's no graduate programs to offer. So if you do even have a transfer, let's say from a Division II, D1, that would be interested in dropping down to Southwestern at D3 division, there's nowhere they can't do it because there's nowhere to take that graduate student class load.
Well, and he mentioned in a prior or an earlier SU Football Weekly that Belhaven, one of the early wins in the Southwestern season, offered their players free graduate program. So not fully graduate program, but that very next year. So that team was loaded with 5th-year seniors. The Pirates able to get a win out of that. That gain is probably going to be shy. We'll see. Depends upon the spot. And the clock is stopped. It's close. They may have to get the sticks out here on the field. They're going to say ball over on downs to the Lobos. And in a closer game, Coach Austin may be demanding the chains come out, but in a 49-15 score, he'll allow it to go over on down.
I was going to say I think he's pretty happy with the results, you know, so far in this game. Obviously, no coach is ever truly pleased with a performance, even this one-sided. But I think he'll find more positives than negatives.
Well, as he likes to say, and today is no different, the Pirates did leave a little meat on the bone, so to speak. Under center now, Maxwell will take a snap, roll to his right, and try to flip it to a senior tackle, number 70, James White, who reported as a tight end. And it's obvious the Lobos are less concerned with cutting into this lead and more concerned with getting some plays for their guys that have been around a while.
I was hoping that play was going to come to fruition. There's nothing better than a big man running with the football. We saw it on Thursday Night Football. It should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, that's not Derrick Henry. That was Derrick Hungry.
Yeah.
I stole that from somebody, but I thought that was one of the more awesome plays. And it did a good job of catching that ball, illegally nonetheless. But Maxwell will hand the ball off to DeLeon, and he'll carry it to midfield for a first down. And the big fella shows that he does have pretty quick feet.
Yeah, the senior listed at 5'8", 235, a bowling ball of a guy. Just rumbled right through the line. Those are two pretty big guys back there, short and stout.
He and Maxwell are almost twins in their build. Not pushing 6 feet at all and well over 200 pounds apiece. They'll hand to DeLeon again. He picks his way forward for a gain of about 2.
You can see him getting good yards after the initial contact, because he just has to fall forward.
Well, and it's good, whether it's your team or not, to see many of these young men, future citizens of this country, getting an opportunity to get some time in here late in a football game that otherwise, in a tight ball game that may have effect on how you finish your season, they may not get that opportunity.
It's true.
Well, DeLeon will remain the running back. They'll hand to him going forward. Number 7 there to prevent much of a gain, Peyton Vaughn.
DeLeon on the carry.
Dominic Izodraski also there. So some freshmen getting some more playing time.
And that's, what number is he? 57?
Yeah.
He's got a good build for a linebacker. Freshman out there playing. It's third down and about 6 yards for the Lobos.
It's him alongside the sophomore in Rulas.
We're under 2 minutes remaining. Fake to De Leon. Maxwell runs up towards the line of scrimmage and tries to flip it to De Leon. And De Leon may have quick feet, but his hands didn't look that great. The pass a little behind.
Yeah, he had to try to get his hands up and over his head to make the catch. And with your pads on, it's way more difficult to do so. Fourth down here, and obviously they're going to go for it. It's just about how they're going to pursue it. And their offense has just fell completely apart. No passing game to really speak of. The running game has been anemic at best. It's just been total domination, no matter who's been out there so far for this Pirate defense today.
And they want to continue over the next 1 minute 46 seconds. Fourth down. Maxwell drops back. Pass incomplete. We're going to have a penalty flag thrown. The pass was intended for Ryan Ochoa. There defensively for the Pirates, Andre Gibson, and that's who they're going to call the hold on, is probably what it is.
Yeah, there's definite contact between the two.
It'll be a first down, Sol Ross, regardless.
In the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean much.
They're going to call it pass interference.
But if you're Sol Ross, and for some of these guys that may never suit up again after this game, you would love to finish on a high note and at least get the score.
Right. And if you're on the Pirates side of it, whether you're a youngster getting some playing time or a senior getting an opportunity here on senior day, you want to stop them. Maxwell sends the running back out. He'll take the snap and carry it straight ahead. He'll pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, this is Clayton Maxwell, so it has to be his last game ever as a collegiate player. And you don't want to go out like this. You know the score is already one-sided, but if you can put a positive spin at the end, that's how you want this chapter of your life to end.
Credit Micah Justice on that tackle of Maxwell. It's going to be 2nd and 4 for the Lobos. We're down to 1:08. In the backfield is number 7, Mendoza. They'll hand to Mendoza. He'll cut out at the 35. He'll cut up and be tackled around the 21 by Jamarcus Ross.
Good run by Mendoza.
Another first down for the Lobos. Clock moving again at 53 seconds.
I wonder if they'll utilize the 3 timeouts that they have remaining.
It's an interesting question because it certainly won't get you a victory, but it would give you an opportunity to try to get a score here late and get your guys on the field that need to be on the field. The handoff's going to go straight ahead to the H-back who lined up at tailback. That's number 44, Michael Kerfus, and he'll pick up about 4 yards.
So no timeouts to be taken. They're just going to continue going.
Make it 6 yards, 2nd and 4. They'll hand to Kerfus again, and he'll get wrapped up for a gain of really nothing by some Pirates over there on the short side of the field, led by Micah Justice. And you can hear the crowd getting rowdy as the clock winds down. Game over. Pirates win. That's a 3-game winning streak to end the 2021 football season. Justin, you have any thoughts?
Well, first of sadness, you see, like, it just hit all these players for Sol Ross as you see them consoling each other, giving those final hugs. It's over. And it didn't go anywhere near the way that they had probably planned when they woke up this morning, but they came out here to compete to the best of their ability and just ended up on the wrong end of the W's and the L's. But obviously, when it comes to the Pirates, my thoughts are elated. Pure elation with the way that they played here today. They looked so good in so many instances, whether it was just the defense or special teams. But that offense, I mean, just so many weapons of attack. Landry Gilpin making another, what it seems, another jump in his evolution of becoming a complete quarterback on the college level. And it just makes me wonder, Will they have enough of the strong pieces coming back? Because, like you mentioned before, some of those seniors kind of up in the air. They can, they might not. And then who is coming in that could be of definite help? And who did we not see this year that has been a backup maybe a season for 2 seasons, is going to have that breakthrough during the offseason in order to be a real primetime player come next year? Because you know that there's a guy somewhere on this team that's been waiting for their moment to shine, and we just haven't found them just yet.
Well, the 2 most experienced units the most experienced unit on offense is that wide receiver core. They've got guys that are juniors and seniors pretty heavily. And on the defensive side of the ball, it's that front. And I think that those are the areas that the Pirates will miss players the most. And hopefully they'll be able to come up with a situation where they can have those bodies already ready that we're just unaware of. The guys playing on the JV games, and we're not seeing them yet. But they have a ton of youth in the quarterback. They have a ton of youth on the offensive line and at the running back position. So if they can fill up those wide receivers with good, young, talented guys and rely on those handful of guys that will return with experience, offensively they should be fine. Defensively, it's tough to replace defensive linemen, but they do have some youth that didn't play as much because of the experience and age of the older guys. And so those will be the question marks for me.
I mean, the big thing is can that youth catch up and do so quickly and be on the same page as those guys that have already been starters for a couple of seasons? Because wide receiver wise, it's like you don't want to waste this peak of the career of Landry Gilpin, because now that he's starting to become a more complete quarterback, you want to have receivers that are going to be down there to be able to make plays. And I think that's one thing that this team can desperately use is a big-time playmaking receiver down there that can go up and get the ball when Gilpin, decides to try to make a play happen. Other than that, it really looks like Sexton is going to be one of his favorite targets going forward, and they're going to be able to build a nice camaraderie and develop that chemistry as they go forward.
Well, we'll take a quick break here, and we'll just pause and see if Coach Austin is able to come up for a post-game interview. We'll give him a couple of minutes, and if he's unable to make it, then we'll close out the broadcast with our final thoughts. But we'll give him a few minutes, so stick with us here. Pirates win 49-15 over Sol Ross. We'll be back in a moment here on SHN Sports.
Was it all done?
Today?
Yeah.
Yes.
One day it's all done. No, I'm going to give you cable.
Welcome back to Georgetown, Texas, as the Pirates celebrate a season-ending win, a 3-game winning streak, 49-15 over Sul Ross. Coach, your thoughts on today's win and it being Senior Day? Do you have anything you want to say about those fellas?
Yeah, I did. We had a group of seniors that had their whole second half of their football career really disrupted with the COVID stuff and schools being shut down and not being able to lift weights, and they stuck with it. And they're such a gritty group with great attitude. So we'll miss them a lot. And it was great to see so many of them have such a great day today. We're going to have Eric Ovalle on, who had 2 touchdowns, and Brandon Jennings had a touchdown. Other guys played well on Senior Day also. So that's kind of cool to see. But we'll miss these guys, and I do feel bad for them. Being a coach, you get more seasons, right? You're not limited to 4, and these guys had a kind of a raw deal. But all the athletes have had a raw deal lately.
Yes.
But it's great to have them finish on such a high note and to go out on a 3-game win streak.
Well, these guys are your guys, though. You mentioned everybody getting a raw deal because of COVID. It hits a little harder when it's your guys.
We had as hard a time as anybody with our restrictions. I understand our restrictions, but yeah, we had as difficult a road as anybody had with COVID, and so it's just a great way to wrap it up. Good to let them end on a real high note.
Well, Justin and I talked about it during the game, Coach. You could tell as the season wore on, all of the aspects of the Pirate football team were really starting to come together. That resulted in a 3-game winning streak to close the season, and a lot of momentum to carry you into the offseason and next year.
Yeah, certainly. We're a long way from the Cal Lutheran game where we couldn't complete a pass. Right, So the progress that was made, and one of the big things, we were able to lift weights finally. We didn't get to lift weights for a year and a half, and that's hard. So, we're still not fully back. We haven't had a real team meeting since these guys were sophomores. So there's still more to be done, and hopefully we can get fully COVID behind us pretty soon. But yeah, thanks for noticing that. The guys have worked really hard. They stuck with it, and they've gotten better all year, and that's what we asked them to do, and they bought in, and they did a great job.
Well, Coach, I want you to have a safe trip to Germany, and we'll see you next season. Let's talk to these seniors real quick.
Come on in.
Eric Ovalle.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
How's it going?
Eric, Justin and I were broadcasting the game, and there was a drive where you had 3 receptions from Landry Gilpin on the same drive, one of those being a touchdown. Talk about that and your last game as a Pirate here.
I mean, well, it starts with the O-line, man. They've really come together over the past couple of games, man. And me and Landry, I mean, we're roommates. We live together. So,
okay.
Well, me, Landry, and Ethan are all roommates, and Joey Robinson. So we all have a little special connection. So whenever someone's open, he knows we'll go and make the play.
Well, do you have any thoughts on this being your final season as a Pirate?
Oh, I mean, bittersweet. It was awesome ending the game with 2 touchdowns. I mean, I wish I could come back for another year, but it is what it is. It's time to get ready for the real world, and I'm excited for that.
Well, and we didn't get to interview you this year on SU Football Weekly, and I always ask the guys, what are your life plans?
I'm going back home, and I'm going to join the fire department.
Okay.
That has been my dream since middle school. I want to help others, and I think that's the best way I can do it.
Well, if you get an opportunity to come back and contribute, whether it's as an assistant, just temporarily, I've seen ex-players come back from time to time and assist out. We'd love to see you. That's for sure.
Oh, I would love to do that too. I'll be around for sure.
Great. Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you.
And so we'll bring in Nick Hackett here to talk to us a little bit. Hollywood. How are you, Nick?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the win.
Yes.
Give us your thoughts on the way that the defense played today, but really over the last half of the season.
Oh, yeah. This last half of the season, we found our niche. We found our groove. We were really rolling through people, getting 3 and outs almost all the time. You saw it today. Once they score on us, we don't let it happen again for a very long time. And, next year we're definitely going to come out and we're going to try to let no one score at all. So, that's our goals.
Well, that's one of the ways that you can ensure a lot of victories. There are definitely no losses if you can blank the opponent.
Yes, yes.
Now, you have a very upper-class laden defensive front. You mentioned next year coming back, right? So you'll be back.
I will be back. Yes,
Okay.
I'm going to take a 5th year. We're really going to miss guys like Noah and Mundo and Jackson Reese on the back, but we're also bringing a lot of 5th years back on offense and defensive side of the ball. And so, we're really trying to build that culture of winning. And these last 3 games, winning out, that's been amazing for that. And we're going to hit this off season really hard.
Well, and talk about that a little bit, how that you can carry that momentum from these last few games and the victories that y'all were able to put together, some quite decisive victories, into the off season and the weights and things like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, these sophomores, this is their first time, having any wins in an entire season.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're going to really love this. And for a lot of people, it's their first off season. And so this off season, we're going to get in there every single time, and we're going to feed off of these victories, knowing that next year we're going to get a lot more of these.
Right.
A lot more.
And there were a few that got away from you this year,
Oh, yeah.
and those are the ones that should motivate you as you're in that weight room.
For sure.
So congratulations on the win. Congratulations on coming back. We'll be hopefully bringing all of your sacks the next season.
Yes,
So,
hopefully. Thanks for having me.
for sure. And that's it. We got no more? Okay. That's the end of the season. I was going to say the end of the broadcast, but ultimately it's the end of the season for the Pirates. They finished on a strong note, and we're going to carry that momentum into next year. For Rich Hensley on production, Justin Simmons on color, and Mickey Holden on camera, I'm Chuck Cracy on SHN Sports. Tune in for next season. Go get 'em.